Hey folks, welcome to tonight's episode of the Psychic Roundtable, brought to you by Des Moines New Age Shop, the Psychic Roundtable podcast channel, and Des Moines New Age Radio podcast channel. I'm your host, Alicia Anspaugh, and tonight we are going to be discussing Norse paganism. Oh, cool. Thor's already on. All right, give me a minute here. Now, I am going to tell you guys, I am going to have Nico O'Neill, Welso Norse, Thor, and Earl Williams. That means I'm going to have an Aries, a Gemini, a Cancer, and a Sagittarius. And so I am not going to get a word in edgewise. As a matter of fact, this is probably the only words, well, the majority of the words you're going to hear from me tonight. I will, however, look up a gong sound effect so I can separate them. Eventually, possibly a Mortal Kombat sound effect. But without further ado, here is Thor. Hey, Thor.
How's it going?
Tech gremlins are being bratty, as you can tell by the background.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Earl. Tech gremlins are just biting my behind. Now, while you guys go ahead and chat amongst yourselves, I already gave you a bit of an intro. I'm going to go fish out Nico, and I'm going to fish out Welso. Okay? Enjoy. By the way, Thor's the Cancer, Earl's the Sag. Good luck, guys.
How have you been doing, Earl?
Doing okay.
Anything exciting happening lately?
Well, I'm just trying to get things prepared to switch over to doing the RV living. I'm gonna be giving up my house here. Because between the house payment and lot rent, it's getting to be too much. So
I get that.
Holy shit! Seriously?
Yeah, I'm gonna be switching over to RV living.
What are you gonna do with all your books?
Oh, they'll be there with me. Don't worry about that.
George did, huh?
No, they'll be with me. So.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. If I can find a big enough one that I've got plenty enough space to set up my office space, and yeah, I'll be fine.
Oh, wow. That's pretty substantial.
Yeah. I had made that decision a while back ago, and I've just been trying to find the right one that I can afford to get into and find the space to park it.
I get that feeling. I'm currently trying to move, and it's been getting closer and closer to deadline and still having trouble. So,
yep. Know that feeling.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on.
Hey, Nico.
How's it going?
I am currently attempting to pull up my Des Moines New Age Shop Messenger for Welso, so you guys wish me luck.
Right.
Send some good energy my way, because apparently the tech gremlins are just throwing a tantrum tonight. Of course, we have had a lot of storms in the area, so that might be part of it.
Yeah, and plus with what happened at the shop.
Yeah.
I saw a video from a house that was just across the street, and
yeah, you saw that video, huh?
That's intense. I just see all the roof tiles flying and everything.
So as y'all know, an F1 tornado actually whipped across the shop, everything else. So the shop had a gas leak that they could smell all the way up to Isle's funeral home. Thor, how far would you say that was?
Jeez, that's
funeral home. Let's say according to the map, it should only be less than a quarter mile.
Yeah, it's 2 or 3 blocks if I remember right.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty intense.
Yeah, no, we have had Hi.
Yes.
I see. So this Gemini is going to fill in until the other Gemini gets here.
Oh, no. I'm going back to Cobra Kai.
Okay. Love you, babe. Anyway, but no, we had a gas leak. And So the fire department cordoned everything off, and I have not been able to get in my shop all week. I called around, found out Mid-American was who I needed to talk to. Called them. This lady, I swear to God, she was high. She was high and had no clue what she was doing. Oh yeah, okay. They capped off the gas pipe and everything. Yeah, we'll send somebody out. I'm like, okay, thank you. So, because I can't take Wub in there and there's nobody to watch him at that point in the day, they wanted to do it between 12 and 2. I called Nicole. She came over in the blistering heat. She's trying to clear debris and all this other crap. And nobody's there. And then I call Mid-American back like, hi. And they're like, oh, yeah, no, they were out there at 12:11. I'm like, that's not possible because she was there 20 minutes before 11. So where have you guys been? They're like, oh, well, we can't do anything until your contractor comes out. I'm like, what? Okay, so had to call my landlady. There are two of them. And she's like, okay, we'll get on it, everything like that, because Lord knows I don't have that kind of cash. So then they have to schedule a contractor thing, which I have no clue when that's going to be. And then after the contractor does their initial inspection and then their 1 to 2 visits to fix everything, then I'm going to be able to call Mid-American, have them inspect. Then maybe I can get back into my building.
Wow.
Yeah.
In the meantime, is the gas shut off?
What?
I hope so.
In the meantime, is the gas
capped.
shut
The
off?
fire department capped the pipe because when the tornado went through, it ripped the pipe. It picked up one of my AC units outside and yanked it off the concrete mooring.
Oh, shit. Okay.
That big sign out front, Earl, the one that says Back Care Clinic that I've been trying to save up to get replaced. Good thing I didn't because it yanked it right out of its mooring. We don't even know where the hell it went.
There's like the sign being this big, there's this much left.
There's the frame.
Oh, hey, Welso.
Hi.
Hey, Welso. Sorry about that. Tech gremlins have been dicks.
No, you're good. I just logged on and then I just remembered to switch my mic over.
Hey, friend me on my personal page. That way I can put you in the group.
I already did.
Sweet. It hasn't come through yet, but that's okay. Tech gremlins have been butts. But anyway, so yeah. I am not sure when I can reopen the shop, which you all know is killing me financially. So yeah, this has been fun.
But like I said, once it's safe to go in, let me know so I can try to help with the small repairing small stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Once we can go in, I have got to figure out if there's any internal damage as well.
Exactly.
Because at first we didn't think there was any damage to the roof. Nicole's in there and she's picking up huge chunks of shingles. But here's the weird part. They weren't torn. It looks like somebody took a box cutter and sliced them off.
Yeah, wind shear.
So.
Yeah. And I noticed that the vet had tarps and that over the roof, so it's probably some of theirs too.
Oh no, the vet's roof, what is it? Chunks of it got taken off, their siding got torn out, apartment building shingles got ripped off. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was other problems too besides mine, as far as gas and AC and everything. I did check with American. It looks like there's a 75% chance that the power is still on, which is good because it's going to keep it somewhat cold in there for the essential oils and stuff. Because if not, I'm going to have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because those things are not, they're not shelf stable. Well, okay. They're not stable in a hot environment.
Yeah, yeah.
And 80 to 90 degree weather is hot.
Start to separate them now with that.
Well,
You're telling me, dude.
And spoil.
89 degree weather is hot. I work indoor without AC.
For essential oils.
Well, so you know what's been going on with the shop, yeah?
I'm in the area. I know a lot of things have been going on with
Gas
a lot of
leak.
things. Yep,
Been closed
I
for
heard
almost
that.
a week. Can't go in. Can't make money. Life sucks. So.
Life doesn't suck. You just have to realize that the gods are putting a turbulence in your
hang up
path.
on you now. Goodbye. Yeah, all right.
You literally put me
Keep that
in this
shit
group.
Yeah, I just muted you. Anyways, but yeah, no, it's been a wild one. So yeah, how have you guys been faring?
Stress.
About the same. We have I have 3 in-laws currently in the hospital.
Fuck.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jeez, it is just a rough time all around.
So I don't know what you're going to get you every time.
I mean, I'm unmuted. I'm just going to chill.
Nah, well, Earl's having it rough. Nico, you're having it rough. I'm having it rough. Thor, you doing good? Living it up? Living the party life? No? Damn. Okay. Well, it's
Nope.
down to you, Welso. Things are going good for you, yeah?
For the most part, I mean, we kind of went on a sporadic. I mean, a planned sporadic vacation for a
Ooh,
week.
nice. Good
We
job.
went to Vegas. We went to Vegas and we got married.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah. So here's the funny part. We did say planned but sporadic, right? So then I took a week of vacation. I work construction, so we don't get PTO.
Right.
And because I went on vacation, bills don't stop.
I know. Well, but that's a pretty big life event. You just got married, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I'm chilling. It honestly doesn't feel different.
No.
I just do the same thing.
Yeah.
I get a booper forever. I'm happy as hell about that. I'm not gonna lie. But but no. Yeah. I also just got hit with a stupid. Or we went back to 58s. So 58 hours.
Okay.
We got 5 10s and an 8.
Woof.
It's fantastic.
Fantastic for the paycheck, but goddamn, you're tired, huh?
You have no idea. We actually got. So we actually. Oh, I could go on about this, but we're there to fix things, and they're not allowing us to fix anything.
Oh.
So yeah,
It's
Look.
like the army. Hurry up and wait.
I'm a union worker, of course. Like, I am. Trust me, I know. Like, what all my bathroom breaks are probably like 10 minutes long. Like, and I'm one of the fast ones, and I'm like, okay, but no, it's really bad. They actually told us that we had to go home today because of the fact that like we're subcontracted to the actual contractor, and the contractor has screwed a lot of things up. It's not a good. It's not fun. I can't wait till they kick me across the street and I'm working for my own company.
Oh, damn. Okay. Wait, you're opening up your own, or what's going on?
No, I'm subcontracted out, so it's like I'm in the building I'm in because of the fact that I got told that's where I'm going.
Okay.
Work's not fun. I don't like it right now, but at the end of the day, I understand that I'm in a career that I enjoy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm an apprentice, so it's like not everything's going to be fun. We're going to be at sites that we don't like. That's just how things go, man.
Yeah.
But no, it's definitely a psychological battle at the moment, as opposed to the materialistic shit that usually happens with me. It's weird. It's a weird change. I don't like it. I want to go back.
All right, we got people watching so far. I don't have any questions or comments yet, so I want you guys to go around and, Welso, since you haven't been on in a little bit, I want you to introduce yourself, what you do. I mean, I've already given you guys a little bit of an introduction, but I want you guys to tell everybody how you play into Norse paganism and the show. By the way, one quick thing before anybody starts, AngelLynn will not be with us right now. She's got a lot of family trouble going on. If we think we have it bad, she's got it worse. So she's like, I can make it. I'm like, take a break. I heard what you just went through. Just take a break. So let's all send her a lot of positive energy. Also, Destiny from Sunshine Oracle may or may not be on, and Matt from DPART may or may not be on. He's going to see how things go. All right, guys.
Especially with his tech.
What?
Especially with his tech.
Yeah. And he may or may not be shirtless, but you know.
Likely.
Well, so tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you you follow the Skyfather tier, yes?
Yes. So I am Welso. I follow, so I am a tierist. I have my own kindred of that's named Shining Ram, uh, and uh, words, words.
Words.
So let's go back to the point that I'm tired.
Now, what tell for the audience? Tell us, what is a kindred?
A kindred is a group of Norse pagans that follow the same path. I mean,
Mhm.
everybody's path is different. Let's just be real. But
Mhm.
and especially when it comes to Norse paganism, because of the fact that it's everybody's speculation on the literature that we have and the lore. But I mean, we for them. I mean, and everybody just follows different paths and everything anyway. But no, so the kindred, for something that more people know of, is kind of like a coven, which is a group
I
of
was going to
witches.
say that.
Yeah, it's essentially the same thing, but with like specified to Norse paganism. Um. So yeah, I mean, I'm the lore master. I used to wake up every day of the week and read for 2 hours out of the Eddas, which are the collections of or some of the collections of the literature that the Norse pagan has, to be able to figure out what our belief system is, essentially, and how we follow it,
Yeah, I'm
fall
still sad
into
that
the
my
path.
Havamal got stolen.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I mean, I actually know guys that read the Havamal like once a week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's lit. Like, I get that.
I kept it in my
There.
car to keep, like, whenever I had downtime.
Yep. I actually read 3 or 4 different versions of the Havamal,
Good.
solely so I could pick and choose,
Mhm.
and just kind of scrapbook it. But I mean, at the same time, like, because of different versions of it, which are just different translations, everybody's always going to put their own spin on it, So I was like, I'm trying to just go to the core of everything,
Plus,
which is
especially with everyone trying to spin things towards a Marvel direction, it's like, no, Marvel's pretty far off on a lot of stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
So I actually do have one request for this. We don't bring up Marvel.
Marvel's going to factor into it no matter what. We're probably going to get
Look,
probably.
I understand, but I will get so sidetracked. It's not even funny.
Well, we might like it. It would be good for us to like explain the major differences, like because like big things people will assume, like in Marvel, how Loki's Thor's brother. No, it's Odin's blood brother. Like,
and not even by birth. It was because of the fact that they
Exactly.
made a pact. But
Yeah. It's
and
an
so
oath.
like that alone, people are going to start like assuming if we don't complete it out for them.
Yep.
Well, I've actually got a pretty good write up here on the differences and the similarities on creation stories.
Nice.
Yep. See, and at the same time, like, I also believe myself that, like, just because I follow the Norse path doesn't mean that my path is the only correct one, because it's like,
Right.
because of the fact that every religion has a start and an end, essentially, to time. There are also a lot of other similarities, like between the symbolism used in it, right? And because of that, and it's like they can be, and I'm talking symbolism mostly, and like the main thought that goes through my brain is like between the shamans throughout the world, right?
Mhm.
The similarities between the images of all the shamans throughout the entire world mind you, these people didn't know that the other one even existed, but they still drew from the same energy of the universe, and it's everybody's perspective of what we call that energy. It could be, for Christians, it would be God. For me, it would be Odin, Tyr, my gods, and then you have the Greeks, the Egyptians, and then you have all the Hindu gods and everything. And it's like, because of that, I know there's a higher consciousness.
Right.
I go by the Norse aspect because that's how I understand them the best. And that's how I understand that energy the best.
Yep.
So I'm not going to sit here and say that there's no religion that's correct and there's religions that are incorrect. That's not what I like. It's just my perception. Now, at the same time, I understand, and this does not reflect upon my kindred. This is me personally. I don't see Catholics as a religion because it's been used as a form of government for thousands of years, And it's when a religion is no longer about the entity and it's about its own personal gain, which is essentially what government is. I don't respect it anymore. Now, I respect your right to have that belief, regardless of what you are. I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the way things should be. Like I said, there's so many different paths out there, and as long as everybody can respect each other's path and be accepting of that, that's what matters the most, and that's the way it should be.
Exactly. See, and that's and that's honestly one thing that kind of annoys me about the Vikings, because people are like, "Oh, you're a heathen? Okay, well, we kind of know what kind of person you are." I'm like, "No, see, I don't kill you because of your beliefs. I kill you, and I slaughtered you because my shit looked good in your possession."
In
fairness, the Vikings really did try to do things as peacefully as possible. Now, if you didn't want to pay me, I'm gonna kill you still. But they had the option.
Well, that's why it's even beyond that. Everyone is like Vikings and all that, and it's like not all heathens were Vikings. Vikings were the criminals. They were the pirates.
Well, Viking was a profession, and while there are plenty of people within that context in the Norse culture that were not going out and doing these crusades, they were agriculturists. They were, tradesmen. They were making boats. They were making cloth.
And it was also just the average person was was a heathen on average.
Yeah. Well, and for people that don't know, a heathen, literally from etymology, is somebody who worships outside. That is what a heathen directly is. It's somebody who worships outside.
You know what, Nico? That's why I love you. You are I love that brain of yours. It's awesome. You're amazing. Also, what size t-shirt do you wear?
2X.
Good. Okay. Keep going. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh. Then I guess I should explain. I am also a Norse pagan. I work with Freyr, Freya, and Ir. Freyr and Freya are fertility gods of nature.
Of the Vanir.
Mm-hmm. And Ir is Freya's handmaiden, who is the goddess of healing. And doctors, she has a specific mound in, I believe, Denmark, that is associated with her.
I really wanted to visit it.
So I'm what you would call a Vanatru, specifically because I worship and work as a devotional act to the Vanir gods. No, I do work through the entire pantheon. And to break that down, you have the Asatru, the Aesir gods. You have the Vanir, which are the gods of nature, and you have the Jotnar and Rakatru. The Jotun are the trolls, which are kind of demonized in some parts of Norse paganism, depending on what you're
Ymir is
looking
the
at.
creation of everything.
And then Rakatru is specifically like your. I guess the closest way to explain that is those are your magical creatures. So those are your like mythological creatures. That is like Ratatoskr, the squirrel, Fenrir, Jormungandr,
Sleipnir.
Sleipnir, and those are like a type of magical entity. And those are kind of the different like base paths you can have in Norse paganism outside of like Norse paganism itself.
Eowyn Janes. Hi, Eowyn. Good to see you on again. Mwah! I missed you. I had one of my neighbors stop and speak with me when I was mowing, and we talked about going to the gym possibly in the future. She offered to take me to church. She was pretty shocked when I told her that the outdoors is my church, as I'm a pagan. The conversation was over pretty quickly after that. Oh, that makes me sad.
Oh.
That's people. Now, what did you say that worshiping the Vanya? What's that called? Because
Vanatru.
What was it?
Vanatru?
Vanatru. Because I've been calling myself Astru, but I worship Freyja, so I guess that would make me a Vanatru instead. I'll have to try to remember that.
I also call myself a Norse polytheist, because that also kind of accurately depicts what I do. Is the Norse gods each have their own specific thing that they do.
Yeah,
You're like the entire pantheon. So
I mean that's why.
I'll work with whoever. If I want to do something with love, it's Freya. If you want to do something with healing, it's Eir. Like kind of depending on what I need is who I'm asking for or offering things to have them walk with me.
See, the way I see it is like you can have the closer relationship with one god, and that's essentially what you would go off of. But if you're really following the path of your god, you also have to realize that the gods were brothers. I mean, they were siblings, so like they're going to have that family connection, and they are one big family. Yeah. And if you're going to have the same respect and follow it in their path, then you have to have a relationship with everybody else, because it's not like you're only going to have the relationship with one person in the family. You're going to have a relationship with everybody else. It's your family.
And of course, when you need something, like if you're asking for help in a specific way, you go to whoever's talented with that.
Exactly. And especially back in the times where this is like the common thing, if you're to actually follow the heathen way and a more true nature way, or like natural way of it, then you would essentially, I mean, there were times where they didn't talk to each other for months. They only saw each other on the holidays, so like, and like even on the holidays, it wasn't even a set holiday for the most part. Like, I mean, yeah, you had Yule, but Yule was the longest day of the year. Actually, Yule in the Norse is actually a 7-day period. At the same time, it could also be a 12-day period. There's been in the Norse, such a shocker. We just like arguing with each other. Just like arguing with each other. We're like, well, shit, let's get drunk and argue. Like, okay, cool.
Well, I mean, we do come from a dead language, so.
Well, and it also comes from that the umbrella of Norse paganism comprises Germanic paganism, Swedish paganism, Danish paganism, your Norway, Sweden, Finland, Iceland, Greenland. And these are all Norse pagan like countries where these religions were seen, but they're so totally different in their structure, what gods were in power, and like how they interacted with things.
Yep,
'Cause, like-
every religion has little deviations.
Mhm.
Because in German Norse paganism, Tyr is the like top. He's the god of gods. He's
That's
the
what
one
I
that sits
follow.
on the throne. Whereas Norse pagan, it's Odin.
Yep.
Yep.
Or like Umbrella Norse pagan is Odin, and then in other
Yep.
places, like it's totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
See, like-
even an area that worships Balder.
Mhm.
That's
Yep.
like the major, and it's like
Earl, you're just gonna
Yeah.
have to get a gong on your phone. That gong, dude, gong.
I've got sound effect around here somewhere.
Hmm.
Elwyn, I'm gonna address what you kept on saying. 'Cause, yeah, I was going back to a incident I had earlier this week that basically some lady started in on her Bible thumping and it's like, lady, I'm straight up pagan and I don't believe in your construct and I rule the underworld. Shock look on her face was priceless.
Yeah, I've had many conversations with people, and whenever this gets brought up, like especially after I even got my Kindred's bind rune tattooed on me, on like because I have it tattooed on my finger, like actually on my ring finger, and
Love
Like,
y'all, but remember, guys, this is not bashing on anybody else's religion. This is
Right.
No.
merely teaching people about yours.
Yeah,
Everybody's entitled to their own thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
it's just kind of weird seeing their reaction after you're like, no. Can we please
Now-
not go into that?
Elena Newton, what do you think about the Norse temple they are building in Iceland? Thank you, Elena. Love it. I actually was going to go to Iceland on my honeymoon before I found out I was pregnant with my son, and I couldn't fly at that point. But we had it lined up, and I wanted to visit there. Go ahead, guys.
We immediately made plans for a trip to Iceland to go see it.
Or I would.
Nicholas O'Neill, I love the
That's
Irish who
me.
created a new Hoff. I know, that's you. Eowyn Janes, hey, are you familiar with the Goddard Tunnel and the ritual they did when they opened it as the largest underground rail system? I think it was in Switzerland, but what are your thoughts on that?
After 1,000 years. I'm reading about that temple.
It was interesting. So Norse it was done by like an animist group of Norse pagans, hence the costuming involved. I absolutely loved it, and
It's kind of like how Greenland is still like they've been still worshiping for years, and there's plenty of like altars and that still up, and it's great.
There's so many folk deities in Norse paganism too in certain regions, which I absolutely love. As you guys already know, folk spirits are my jam. I love them. They're adorable.
Yeah, my favorite one's Fafnir for some reason. I don't know why. I enjoy it.
Yes.
Though you guys described like how, your worship, I didn't describe mine. I do worship Freyja as well, which is another way to say Freya. And mostly because I'm also Wiccan, I'm worshipping under her because she was the one that practiced Satyr. And a lot of times I associate that she's actually multiple, like the goddess Freya, she's Gaia, she's like all of it in one goddess kind of thing, but focus it with Freyja. Yeah, okay.
Okay, Eowyn, I liked how they commemorated the people that died during the long construction. Wow. Yeah.
That is good.
Let me find my cricket sound effect. Nico, start talking for the love of God. Seriously. I ain't going to carry this conversation, homies. Norse pagan, I am not. I'm a spiritual freelancer. I talk to different deities for different things. Love them all individually for their own deal. I always know it's in a medium of exchange whenever I talk to them. Okay, it's all about exchange. But you guys are the Norse pagan experts, so if you got something to say, now's the time.
It's more about like which one are we going to talk about first, or about.
Well, why don't we start a little bit about what brought you into Norse paganism? You know, what was so attractive about it for each one of you? I know the audience kind of knows Welso's origin a bit, but you know, what brought you into Norse paganism? What is it that makes it resonate with you? What is it that you enjoy about it?
For me, I mean, my middle name's Thor because my father was already into Norse paganism, and then he later really started liking Marvel too. So added to it, and so like knowing my name before Marvel like started getting big with Thor and everything, like outside the comics more than the movies, I just started looking into it, like the origins and the stories are so enticing. And
in what way?
Gritty, like because there's like they're not just like happily ever after. They are intense, and it makes it feel more down to earth. And on top of that, there's a good amount of minor gods that are humans that did wonderful or extreme and legendary things in their time and ascended.
Actually, interestingly enough, the Archangel Metatron is said to have been that way as well. So I was very surprised. It's not a well-publicized fact, but yes, humans do ascend. In many different pantheons. One of the things I've always loved about the Norse mythology, the Norse gods and deities, they are, unlike some of the other different pantheons, which I will not name, they actually, what do I say? They exemplify the virtues that you are supposed to be following as a human.
They're very humanist pantheon.
They actually follow the same rules. They follow the same virtues as they expect their followers to, and they hold themselves to it. With Odin, every time he suffered, he gave the results to humankind, and I thought that was always very amazing and noble. So I have a great deal of respect for the pantheon. So, you know, Welso, Earl, Nico.
See, that's the thing that I resonate with the most, you know, because like the gods are literally just like, we are no better than you guys, you know. And that's how I view anybody I deal with, you know, like I'm going to hold you to the same expectations and standards that you hold me, which I hope are high, you know, because I don't want to, I'm not going to half-ass anything. And you know, I mean, that's how I've always been. It doesn't matter if it's with people, with work, or just whatever, you know, I'm doing. And like, why would people or entities that I look up to, why wouldn't I hold those to the same standards that I hold myself, you know? So it's like, my gods really do walk with me, you know. It's not just a metaphorical phrase, you know. It's like they're not going to ask me to take out the trash if they're not going to do it themselves, you know. Like it just to break it down to the most simple terms.
It's an equal like relationship because you are like not expected to just grovel and worship, but it's a bond.
It's a much different type of relationship with the divine than other pantheons and other religions. Is that you don't like bind or work with the spirits in Norse paganism like you do in other faiths. They say that Norse pagans do not bend a knee for their gods; they walk with them. And that's true in the statement that while we worship our gods, we do not beg them for things. We offer them sacrifices to gain their attention so that they may bless us with the things that they do. And by sacrifices in modern times, I'm not saying that we are necessarily slaughtering animals and people. Some traditions do sacrifice meats, but this is generally a pre-butchered animal. And that is like a ritual dinner that's offered.
Yeah, and a lot of the
although sacrifices can be arranged.
Yeah, and sacrifice can also be anything that just is a meaningful thing to you that you're essentially getting rid of to show that, hey, I'm willing to part with things I care about.
See, I've noticed too, it's not necessarily about the quantity that you give either. It's about what that end result of what you sacrifice is, you know.
Yeah, that's the value.
The easiest thing to do, you know, is food, you know. But I've noticed that when I give a sacrifice of food to my gods, when like it might be, I might be low on food, you know, or like the ability to get said food, you know, it's like when I sacrifice food at that point, you know, like more, it's a lot. The gods make me more aware of a lot more, you know, because at the same time of them working, that I have noticed, like when you give that sacrifice or you do that ritual, they don't necessarily, I mean, they're not going to just give you whatever the hell you want, you know, like they're like, you're still going to put the work in.
And they focus
but
on
we're going to give your energy towards said thing. 17,000 5-hour energies. Yeah. Like you're up.
Yeah, they make us able to, but also be able to do things in a way that will grow. Like I'm actually currently, my whole situation is a huge leap of faith for Frasier. So I'm like, it's terrifying, but I'm doing my best.
Yep.
Now, since we're all having kind of iffy situations, do your deities speak to you about that? And if so, what do they say?
Mine, it's more of let me know, like, what details I'm allowed to know about what's coming up, because of course my stuff's all about divination and care, but also what not to do, because like a lot of it would say that if I did this, I wouldn't grow, and it's like, okay.
Right now, I'm messaging with Matt. I'm going to remove myself momentarily. Well, let's see. Hold on. No. Okay. I'm just going to put myself on mute while I laugh my ass off. Talk amongst yourselves.
And then we were quiet again.
Well, I'm actually getting ready to post up the writing that I did on the differences.
You know what?
Similarities.
Instead of posting that up, why don't you send it to me so I can put it on my shop blog and do it as a guest author?
I already sent it over to your messenger there, dear.
Awesome.
I'm getting ready to post it on the business page and also in the group for Pagan Artist Spotlight too.
Sweet. Okay, Stacy Lynn Cervella. Hello. Hey, Stacy. I'm so glad you could join us. So has any of you heard the terms colon crucified or booty barraged?
What?
No.
No, you haven't. All right, y'all too young for that. Anyways.
What?
I am concerned now.
I've got a visual, but
What Lokian monstrosity?
Oh Lord.
That's a great way to put it, considering Lord of the Monsters.
Manhole massacred. All right, Stacy Lynn Cervellis.
Where'd
here.
that come from?
Oh dear. Alrighty.
And you tell me I can't drink on screen.
Oh, Lord.
No, you can't drink on screen. If I can't have a cigarette on here, you can't drink. Now, until I start
I didn't
drinking
know
on
you
screen,
smoked.
and then I'll tell you. What?
I didn't know you smoked.
No, only when things get really bad. And the last couple of
that's
months
fair.
have been filled with a lot of stress.
I understand that.
I haven't been, well, I don't have my stuff organized enough at home to actually get together my the mix that lowers my anxiety and stress. It's Palo Santo, patchouli with just the slightest hint of lavender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can actually smoke it, you can inhale it, and then what it does is it just clears everything out. Yes, you know there's stuff to worry about, but you're able to just focus and keep moving forward. It's an expensive mix to make, though. That's why I don't sell it in the shop.
Fair.
I might start selling it online, though. What?
Oh, by the way, I'm hopping off in like 5 minutes so I can actually sleep.
Oh,
Okay.
at least we got to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're on.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I still have to work tomorrow.
No worries, dude. I get it.
See, I
But
use that.
well, so Thor is local, so you guys might want to connect on the Norse Paganism stuff, and he might be able to join you and your kindred when you do your holidays.
I wouldn't be in it, but I would be welcome to visit, like willing to visit kind of thing, because
Outer circle stuff.
yeah, like it would be nice to have fellow, but our worship is a
flows.
little different.
All I'm saying is meat flows.
Oh dear.
Fair.
I did.
Fair.
I don't know what you guys expect from me. I'm a construction worker.
Yeah. See,
I'm a construction worker. Not only am I a construction worker, I'm a heathen. Like, and I'm a true like down to earth heathen. Like, I'm super chill, but it's like, look, one of the main parts is drinking. Like holidays, like I'm going to drink.
Yeah.
And
the
meat is
kindred we
fine.
had here was 3/4 AA. So the mead flowed, but it was non-alcoholic.
Hey, that's still great.
Still mead.
And then, the
Having
rest
a
of
blood
us when
is great.
we went.
Look, I understand. I understand. I'm a heathen, and I'm kind of barbaric in my thought process. But at the same time, bro, I'm not gonna have my son be drunk as hell. That's my job.
Yeah.
He's too young.
Well, if you can find anybody that brews their own mead, well, so let me know. Safely brews their own mead. Safely.
I'm actually starting to look into it.
Awesome. All right.
I'm trying to be 100% honest, because like I really do want to just stop drinking beer and just drink mead all the time. But I don't know I'm not about to buy a barrel of mead a month. Like,
that's
making your own is the better.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing. Like, if I brew it for myself, like I don't know the legal limit of what you can brew a month, but like,
yeah,
you can brew as much as you want.
Well, you didn't hear it from me, but as long as nobody knows, who cares? No.
Right.
No,
if you're selling it, I think that there may be permitting required, but like for personal use, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, but if it like, are they going? I don't know if they'll believe me that I drink a barrel a month.
Yeah, it's kind of like having
a
large amount of weed, even though you use it for personal use, they consider it selling kind of thing.
But then, is a regular person going to have an entire bar in their house? So what's different?
Exactly, it's a variety.
You can just have a large quantity of a single type of like spirits in your house. That wouldn't be illegal.
Or if you really want to have fun, put it in different bottles and label it different stuff.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
But then I'll forget what I brew. That's the thing. Like, I'm still a dumbass.
To label it. You have to label what flavors they are and when you made them, so you know when they're done.
It's the same thing as like my dad was making homemade wine for years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, essentially, meat is just wine. It's just
it's honey wine.
Made with honey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's really good. When I lived in Idaho, I had a friend that made like sack mead, so it was extra honey with huckleberries and elderberries.
Ooh.
It was so good.
Yeah,
So,
I mean
Thor.
anything with elderberry is really good.
You gonna start making mead too?
I have made
I
some.
have too much going on in my
just not
life.
currently making any.
Plus, I don't like it. I can't easily get drunk. I only found recently one drink that actually weirdly got me buzzed, but otherwise, I don't get buzzed even.
Which one? I'm just curious.
It was a weird, just random can of White Russian. Like it shouldn't have gotten me buzzed, but it did.
Interesting. Stacy Lynn Cervella, I'm talking to someone online. I broke up with Dustin about 2 weeks ago. I was wondering what will happen if I meet this person. Thor? That's
I'm checking to see if I can answer.
I am not touching this with a 10-foot pole.
I will say I don't have my runes next to me.
Apparently I can. I was expecting a no, because that's
Ooh, Welso, you gonna take a turn at this? Let's go. Let's see.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna have to bounce off.
Indulgence.
Okay. By the way, Welso, do you do rune readings professionally?
Bro, I don't do anything professionally.
For the love.
Oh yeah, that's one.
Oh shit, I can't say that. I'm an electrician. Hey, I'm a semi-professional electrician.
Fair. You're on your way to become the full professional.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're a journeyman, right?
No, I'm an apprentice. I'm a first year apprentice. I
Still.
am literally I'm expensive help.
Okay.
But yeah, I was also going to try to like start working towards adding the energy work into my what do you call that? Repertoire of like what I offer.
Yeah.
Depending on how far it gets by the time the fairs come around.
With energy work, most people, when they come to you, they're going to ask you if you do Reiki. You want to search out and see what kind of energy work works with you. That way you can get some sort of certification in it, because they will ask you.
Oh, that's true. It would most likely be
Stacy Lynn, I don't blame you for not wanting to touch this with a 10-foot pole. Yeah,
right.
baby.
That's what I was in the middle of.
I want to see what.
Okay, well, so what you got up there? Camera's blurry.
Did you
Yes, Fehu.
Fehu.
So Fehu is cattle or wealth.
Generally abundance.
Yep. So do with that information as you want. I'm not doing anymore. Look it up. Google it.
I got Rado.
I did the poll. I'm not going to do the interpretation.
Yeah.
I gave you the base meaning because after I already grabbed it and I already started going through it, I was like, wow, I really don't want to do this either.
No.
I pulled for this, but
I'll do the poll for you. You can do the interpretation. Everything's up to interpretation.
Okay. So
I'm doing that in the nicest way I can. I'm going to help, but I'm also not going to do the work.
Okay, that's not help then.
I'm interested what Cass pulled.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I spent the energy to do that.
Nope, not help.
Look, that's it's my story. I'm going with it. You can't tell me otherwise. Talk to my attorney.
All right, so I got more of the answers about it. I did multiple questions in a row to like get the whole gist of it, since it wasn't a yes or no question like I normally do. So I used yes or no questions to get the whole thing. So it looks like
20 questions.
Going to be having more trouble with this due to fear and anxiety, which is fair, but it is still worthwhile for you to try, like, go for it, because by doing so you will strengthen yourself.
So learning experience.
Exactly.
Alrighty.
I got it.
I literally got strength and Queen of Coins for the go forward with it.
Mine was interesting.
A lot of abundance.
I got Rado and the Elk Rune. So Rado is kind of the rune of ego a little bit. I'm not thrilled about pulling that for this. They might be a bit of control freak.
Yeah.
And then Elkrune is, man and divinity. So I'm kind of getting that this is a really egotistical man, and I'm not super thrilled about it. So be cautious.
Now, my question is, are you pulling the energy of her previous partner or the person she's talking to online?
About the new person.
So yeah,
about not the ex, but about this new person that they're meeting.
Because the ex, apparently there was some other stuff going on, and that's why I'm asking. It sounds
he's
a bit more like X.
The X is the Hulgaz. He's just full chaos.
Okay, alrighty.
Just don't. The
Okay,
X is
hey,
don't touch it with a
just
stick.
on a quick tangent, really quick, because this is my snuggle time with Rune. This is my kitty Rune. This is my familiar.
Nice.
I think it's funny how he comes up right after I do a Rune pull.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
mine's right here, right off camera.
That's some irony.
Yeah, he knows. He knows.
Well, after my move, I'll hopefully be able to get my new pet that I plan on, and I'll be able to show it because I plan on getting a spider. So.
Oh wow! Okay.
I won't be on. I will.
Do you work with Loki?
I don't. I don't fuck with spiders.
Okay, Loki is really heavily associated with spiders.
I know.
I do. I'm kind of partial with Loki. Like,
I respect him.
I have respect for it. My father-in-law was. I don't know if smart was the correct word, but they named their dog after Loki, and
so
they invoked the god in their dog, and that can have interesting side effects sometimes.
Yeah.
So Loki very much likes my in-laws, and they get lots and lots of spiders. So much so that for a while they lived in Texas in the path of the tarantula migration. And no, thank you. No, thank you.
Now, out of curiosity, why is Loki so strongly associated with spiders?
Lord of Monsters. So because Loki was the father/mother of Sleipnir, Jormungand, Fenrir. Most monstrous creatures are spawned from Loki.
Okay.
Yeah, Loki is responsible for a lot of the quote-unquote undesirable creatures, whether by shapeshifting and giving birth to them himself or by being the father. And Loki is gender fluid in Norse mythology. In the original texts, Loki is not gendered.
Yep.
We added gender to Loki to make him more digestible.
Yeah, because Loki does freely shift.
Yeah, Loki is a full fluid shapeshifting.
Pure ideal. And with me being non-binary, it's like if it wasn't so deeply with Freyja, it would be very tempting.
Mm-hmm.
I think Loki would be actually the
might be another factor.
Yeah. But Loki would most likely be the ambiguity if whenever I need like something between the horn god and the moon goddess.
Mm-hmm.
Stacy Lynn Cervella, I'm glad you helped me with my question. Awesome.
But it's one interesting thing. There's so many queer aspects in Norse paganism.
Yeah.
And even in the mythology. You have Thor cross-dressing.
For that, go right to your Greek pantheon. Jesus, dear God.
Yeah. Thor cross-dresses in Freya's dress to get his hammer back.
Yeah, to sneak in and get his hammer back.
Loki being Loki and, female horse at one point, woman at one point, man at another point. Like, whatever suits him is what he's going to be. Odin spent 7 years as a handmaid milking cows because he wanted the experience.
Which makes me curious what pronouns Loki would prefer in a modern age.
Probably all of them and in the most chaotic way possible.
Mm.
So like Fae, Fair, Zizir.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
For fun.
Honestly, with Loki, I see it more from what I've read of him as whatever the situation deems.
Yes. That's
More-
why
Probably Loki would probably be they, them, or like all pronouns accepted.
Yeah.
In my
Yeah.
opinion, like where it's just like call me whatever you want, like. But I also think that Loki would just sit there with a full beard and boobs and just be like, "What? What are you going to
Like
do
I
about it?"
was earlier this year.
I was going to say, I think more with Loki, I did work with him a little bit for a friend of mine. She was in a real bad situation, and I knew that was the only deity that could help at that point. And I have to say, he does get a bad rap, but I will say he was quite compassionate. And
Loki can be.
That's why they're the father of monsters, is because they care.
Yeah.
What he wanted was very little. He helped her as much as he could. Okay, he didn't go all out. He wasn't a mother goddess type.
Yeah.
But he did help, and he did come to me as a he. He was not interested in any sort of non-binariness or anything else.
No, I was
It was straight up he, and he had his offering. He did his helping. But I will say, he does get a bad rap.
Yeah, he's very
He's willing to
demonized,
help.
and that's partially responsible from our translations.
Matt,
from
hi! How are you doing?
that a lot of our mythos in Norse paganism is preserved and brought in from a Christian perspective.
Yep.
Because the man that translated most of the myths and wrote them down was a Christian, so he put his dogma and lens over it, unfortunately.
Yep.
It's similar to how they moved over Satyros.
You good, Matt? Could you hear us?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm trying to see. I'm more trying to see.
Because in Norse paganism, we don't have like what you would consider like an evil god at all.
Yeah.
They all have their part to play, and Loki, while being a trickster god, is more like the divine comedy.
Yeah, loves
And-
like if he can
Yeah, I can respect chaos.
make people get their comeuppance, he loves it.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
And
Anyway, so
Yeah,
I'm hopping off. I'm gonna go to bed.
have a good night, Welso.
Welso.
Have a good night.
Stay trippy. God's be with you.
There's chaos.
I'm not going to wind up having to call it quits early myself because I was up early. But before I go, book recommendation.
All
Yes.
right.
Oh,
That
that's-
is yes, I do approve. The Way of Fire and Ice is fantastic. There is Horn and Banner, which I do not know the author off the top of my head, is another fantastic book on like living Norse pagan.
Yep.
All right.
The other
What's
one that
the author on that, Pip?
the other one that touches it. This one here.
All right. Earl, what is the author on The Way of Fire and Ice?
That is by Ryan Smith.
Loki works with a lot for chaos, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
That's what me and Loki could get down.
they also like Loki is very much because father of monsters, because also the downtrodden are a thing that they care about. Like
Really?
if you are like ostracized from society, he'll probably do his best for you with little ask.
Yeah, in
Wow.
modern times, I've seen Loki has really done a lot of work in the queer community. For that reason, is Loki is there as like kind of a parent figure for people that are kind of lost and like disregarded from like society.
Yeah.
By the way, the
strange
Psychic
and weird.
Roundtable, Des Moines New Age Shop, and everything I am makes absolutely no claims about something like that with any deity, and I do not support those claims. I will not encourage people to go to a trickster god for any sort of parental figure.
Right.
While
Okay.
they may care, it's still
Absolutely not.
chaotic.
Yeah, working with Loki is not for the faint of heart, and I always tell people if you're interested in working with Loki, understand the spice of life that you will get from doing so.
Yeah.
And then it's not
New things will
necessarily a
be
bad
interesting.
thing,
Oh
but
my God.
that In the instances that I do call
man,
on
I
Loki,
love that face. Oh,
it
that
is
face.
So it's essentially the whole Chinese proverb, may you live an interesting life. It's a curse.
No,
But
thank you. I'm good.
yeah. Like I don't personally invoke
Earl,
Loki
can
very
you put
often.
that Werewolf Pack magic book in the private comments so as I can put it in the comments?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Is the light bulb still up there, Alicia?
What?
Is the light bulb still up there?
No.
Werewolf
Good.
Pack Magic.
Okay, Werewolf Pack Magic by.
Yeah, he says.
Okay, you're just gonna have to tell me in a minute.
Denny.
Yep. That's by Denny Sargent.
Oh, I was thinking the right one. Okay. I was thinking Sargent, yeah.
Probably misspelled that. All right, there we go. Stacy Lynn, are you going to be open on the 1st? I plan on going to your store on the 1st. I would love to tell you yes, but right now I have no clue. I am waiting on hearing back from I'm waiting on hearing back from my landlords, then the contractors, then Mid-American. And then I will be able to tell you what I can do. For right now, I have no clue, and the store is closed until I can get all that mess straightened out. Oh, yay.
Mm-hmm.
Just all the yays. Sorry, kiddo. But I will let you know. Talk to me online on anything, and I will work with you.
Yeah.
No problem. I just cannot get into my own shop.
And plus, she has the connections to all of us other like vendors that like for readings and stuff like that.
Which,
like, reading, then yeah.
Thor, I wanted to talk to you about the whole tarot thing. I'm trying to figure it right now out on the website. Like I said, huge learning curve, but there's a place where I can actually book online for people.
Oh.
Yeah, I have to figure it all out.
Okay.
So talk to me later about that.
Yeah, because I would be definitely interested because my days are open.
Okay. Well, I'm not guaranteeing anything right away, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff we have to talk about, but yeah. So fun stuff.
All right, guys. I'm gonna bug out for tonight. Like I said, I did post up the my writing in the Pagan Artist Spotlight business page on Facebook. I also sent it over to Alicia as well, so she's got it. So if anybody wants to write up on the it's the differences and similarities on creation stories.
Okay. Awesome.
The guy to my right is Nico, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Me and you need to get together and talk like as soon as possible.
We need a whole gathering.
Yeah, we do. We do. It's unfortunately it's going to be virtual because Nico, where are you at again?
Omaha.
Hey, you're not that far from me, brother.
Yeah, it's like a hour and 45-minute drive or something.
Something like that. But I need to get you on Facebook. We need to chat. Sorry.
It is the same name here, but with an H, NICHO.
Huh?
It's the same name here, but with an H, NICHO.
All right. Well, I'll have Alicia shoot it over to me. If she would be so kind. That's for putting me on blast for a public aha moment.
Stacy Lynn. Okay, thanks. Okay, cool. Give me a minute. I am going to go ahead. Bye, Earl. I am going to go ahead and put you and Nico in touch with each other.
Thank you.
Go ahead and chit chat.
Okay, Matt.
I don't want to say too much online because I don't want to endorse working with said entities. But let's just say certain words you said just a few minutes ago clicked, and when Alicia made that comment about "I love that face," she knew what was going on.
Maybe I did. Maybe.
To preface that, I know one person that works with that, like as a devotional specifically, and their life is very interesting.
Actually, yeah, my friend who also worships Loki, her life is constantly struggles, but still at the same time interesting.
Yeah.
And boring at the same time.
Matt, I just sent you the link for Nico.
Thank you. Yeah, I saw it come across. Thanks, son. And both of everything that you guys are just now saying, even now, are hitting really close to home.
Now, Matt has taken the time out to pop. Are you okay, Thor?
Yeah, it's monthly cramps.
Fun. I'm almost off of mine, so yay.
And
it's the full
hitting hard
moon
today.
What?
Oh, it's the full moon. Yeah.
Yep.
Is it full moon?
Yeah, it's
Maybe.
full moon.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's what I'm synced up
It's
with.
in the next 3 days.
Hey, Matt, you should incorporate something about the full moon into your live cast. I know it's not about this stuff, but why not? Such an asshole. I love it. I'm not saying nothing.
It does rile the spirits up. It does. They become more active.
That's true.
Double damn you, Alicia. Double damn you, girl. That's all I got. That.
My life is so much fun. Hold on. Now, out of curiosity, can you guys hear the sound effects when I put them on?
I can't, no.
I
on.
haven't heard any yet.
Yeah.
How about that?
Nope.
Nothing.
I hear like sounds like
That's
somebody
sweet.
scooting a chair across like
Too bad.
Well, my wife's Star Trek notifications are going off on her phone. But,
Nice. I was
yeah.
going to say, during your live, Matt, make sure to play the Mortal Kombat theme a few times. You don't know where I live, Matt. You don't know where I live. And my shop's closed right now.
You gotta come to the shop sometime.
No, I don't. Actually, no, I can't. Legitimately, I can't. They have it completely cordoned off. The fire department told me to get the fuck out. Legitimate.
Yeah,
How often does that happen?
pro squatter ability here.
What?
I said
pro
pro level squatter ability. Yeah,
Yeah, I know, but honestly, I don't
gotta
want to
tell
take
me
the
about
chance.
that one.
Don't want to take the chance. Got the kid, so got the kid 24/7. Don't
I
I?
bet that's fun.
What?
I bet that's fun.
Actually, to be honest,
He's
it
great.
is.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Okay.
Yeah. You two are like.
Well, no. Even earlier today, I've had a headache. I've been carrying it since the storm. I've done everything to try and get rid of it. It's probably a blood pressure thing because I'm hyper stressed. But he would get near me today, and my headache would just. Oh, it was like a sharp stabbing pain. He'd move away and fine.
Was it behind your eyes?
No, it's right through here. It's all.
Okay.
It goes
'Cause
through my.
I had yesterday. I had it felt like my right eyeball was being stomped on. It was crazy.
Oh, buddy. But anyway, he would move close. It would spike.
On your step empathetically or not?
He'd move away. It'd get better. Spike. Get better. And finally, I was like, "Durr, Arthur, come here." I gave him some ibuprofen and some allergy med. He's like, "Oh." I'm like, "You couldn't have just told me hurt. Ow. You couldn't have just said so." No, apparently not.
Gotta share it.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, we're going to rely on mommy's empathic gift. And I always said the empathic gift was something I would much rather just return because I hated it. But now that I've had him, actually,
It's helpful with it, especially with low verbal and non-verbal.
yeah.
Empaths, if they use their skills right, I believe, are the best suited to get through life because there's so much that comes with empaths.
Especially since we can avoid really bad things sometimes because we feel them and go, "That's not me." And then we look
You know,
around.
too. So we'll just go ahead and buck up and go through the bad shit too, because we know.
Yeah.
But the issue is not knowing which emotions are mine versus somebody else. And then I also get the emotions from the
I
spirits.
think where I'm a bit lucky
I've
is
had a hard time deciphering that one myself, but I've actually, and it's hard I can't really describe my process. Does that make sense?
No,
Well,
I understand. Yeah.
It's different for everybody
very,
on how you process
empathic
them.
before, so
I just know when they're fine now. It's just kind of one of those things that happen for you. You just got to kind of, you have to evaluate what I did to get here was kind of evaluate each emotion that would come in as it came in, All right, is this mine? Do I have to be feeling this right now?
Yeah, and that's what I've had to do.
Yep.
But it took a long time to learn that and get there.
Mhm.
Most of the time, I just spent no, God, no. You know?
Especially with all this anger nowadays. I wake up angry, and I know it's not my anger. I can tell from the get-go when I wake up it's not my anger. It's like I practice it at night, and then I have to discharge it properly throughout the day where it belongs, if that makes sense.
Send it back. My dad always told me, he was like, visualize it like somebody's throwing you a basketball. Now, keep in mind, my dad he never did any sorts of sports with me when I was little, just nothing. He focused all on art and crafting, which I was fine with. But he's like, visualize a basketball. I'm like, Dad. He's like, visualize a basketball anyway. And I'm like, okay, basketball. It's like somebody's throwing you a ball. You don't want it. So you can dodge it or you can throw it back. And
Play
when
dodgeball.
when did he teach me this? After I was 30. That was great. I was like, thanks, Dad. Love you too.
See, we have what I call the effort basket, which my grandma used. She had a jar of river stones and then an empty basket. And then whenever you have a bad day, you're mad, angry, whatever, day sucked. It's right next to the front door. You come in, you pick up a stone, push everything into the stone, put it in the basket. Once the basket's full, all of your stones are in there. Go take it down to the river, wash them, bring them back.
That is
kind of
awesome.
brilliant.
I like that.
And it's
One
the
of these
concept
days-
of like psychologically hanging up the stress from work or whatever as you enter the home so that you're not letting that affect you and carry you, but on like an energetic level too.
Though for me, it's actually I need to not do that because like I'm working in therapy to actually
Open up.
be willing to feel my emotions.
Mm-hmm. Well, no,
Even
you need to
bad
work
ones.
through your emotions. Have you done a rage ritual yet?
A what?
A rage ritual yet?
No.
Look into them. They're fun as hell. Go get some ice cubes and your bathtub, and then
Not for that, Matt, for the love of God. Anyway.
hopefully, stuff a pillow under the door if you need. Scream, whatever you need. Hopefully your neighbors don't mind, but let it out. Throw those ice cubes against the shower wall. Let them break. You're not breaking anything valuable.
There's a
You're
smash room in Bourne, so
Yeah, and it's free. You don't have to go pay to go break a bunch of stuff at one of the smash places.
Or cement surface. You go out and smash them against the cement too.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Stacy Lynn, she's a Virgo, and you can tell by this comment. Well, I hope your shop will be open before the end of the month because you are losing money from your store being closed. Yeah, no kidding, Stacy. How do you think I feel about it? It sucks. But yeah, no kidding. I appreciate the empathy though. So yeah. I love the practicality of the Earth sign. Rockstar. Well done. I'm a Taurus myself and Matt's Capricorn, so we're like, yeah.
Well, Cap's I'm a Cap's baby. I'm both.
True. But yeah, no. And besides, I will tell you, Dennis had to be set up right across from that break room, that smash room. And I walked by there. I got anxiety just walking by there. It freaked me out so bad.
I've been having a lot of that go through lately. There's been a lot of anxiety to process. You know me as an energy worker.
Mm-hmm.
Carry a blue calcite.
Huh?
yeah.
Carry a
Interesting.
blue
Why?
calcite. It works as an energetic buffer. It kind of stops some of the. It still lets you feel as an empath, but it blocks some of the energy coming through, so that
I've noticed that when I do that though, bad things happen because shit that's supposed to get through doesn't.
It may depend on the person too.
Yeah.
Matt, have you ever played with specular hematite? It's an energetic switch. It'll switch negative to positive.
Me and hematite. Okay, you not seen what I do to hematite?
No.
You blow it
And
up,
this is
don't you?
specular hematite.
blow
It's
it up.
different.
I blow it up. I've had brand new rings get put on my finger and just shatter.
Well, I think honestly that's a Capricorn thing. I know a lot of Capricorns that it happens to, but you guys are heavy duty stress cases. Stacy, I know, right? Okay.
I think it's all the chaotic energy that I carry too.
On the note of crystals, I actually did have a question for you, Alicia. Do you happen?
No. I'm teasing. Yeah. What's up? What's up?
Either like if we could experiment sometime, or if you know of any crystals that can hold a charge that a vamp can feed off of.
Actually, a clear quartz would be perfect for that.
Okay, because there's been a few times where I've been like really low on energy and can't go out to feed, so I'm like, I need some batteries.
I actually wondered about that with you. I wondered if you had already been doing that. Well, okay, I thought you had.
I have on me as a Jasper right now.
Well, hey, my pumpkin's about ready. My coach is about ready to turn back into a pumpkin again.
Okay, hey Matt, remember Mortal Kombat, booty barraged, colon crucified, manhole massacred, anally assassinated. All right, have fun, Matt. Bye bye.
Yep. I would try Ruby or Carnelian because they both deal with like light or life.
Here, girl.
So even the stone's energy itself may be similar enough to the energy you're pulling.
Okay, that might be interesting, considering Ruby is my birthstone, and I've never liked them.
Well,
you could try Carnelian then.
Yeah, I would be willing to try Ruby even still for this, but
Carnelian might not be the best because of how you respond to Reiki energy. That's why I say start with a clear quartz.
Yeah,
you can always program it.
Start with a clear quartz. What you can do is actually, and okay,
I
cannot believe I'm going to say this on air, but you can actually take a clear quartz. Have you ever read the Dresden Files?
No.
Okay, read the Dresden Files. Now, moving on. You take a clear quartz and you program it to start siphoning out all the ambient energy from wherever you are and storing it. And then you use it to feed off of.
I don't know if that'll work so well because it's not because I can take ambient energy, but it doesn't fill me what I need.
No, ambient energy. It's constantly sucking. You can see program it, whatever ambient energy. If you just want to program, or if you just want to suck people's ambient energy.
That's kind of rude.
Not really, because this is just the stuff we're using day to day. It's almost like the reason why I say
grabbing ambient, not directly from them. I guess so. Yeah.
Well, think about this. Like this conversation we're having is an energy exchange.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's energy being thrown back and forth.
My therapeutic conversation that I offer. Mm-hmm. It does help get things off people's chests, but I am feeding from that, and I'm taking that negativity from them. Like it lifts it off them, and I take it and I eat it.
I'm probably going to send you the unedited version of the story I wrote, Odinson Mental Health, Inc. And I think you'll find it very interesting. It is a fictional story, but it's about a psychic vampire turned therapeutic counselor. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, but no, in the Dresden Files, the main character has different stuff on him that he programs, like with a bracelet, every time he moves, it stores a little bit of kinetic energy. And so when he goes to hit something,
emergencies,
it has all that stored, And that's what you want to do with the clear quartz or whatever. If you want to use a ring or a bracelet, you can do this to anything. I would say clear quartz mainly because it's the easiest to do with. Amber maybe, but again, I would be careful because he would have to experiment to see which one he can feed from the easiest.
Yeah.
And amber has its own original resonance because it is fossilized tree sap.
Amber has a difficulty letting things go sometimes.
But it is really good at transmuting negative energy into positive energy too.
Well, but that's the thing. He can feed on negative as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though I have actually found something interesting.
Mm-hmm.
While I can feed on negative energy, there are a couple, some of it that I can feed from it, but I exhaust myself by doing so because it takes more energy to process.
It's harder to process.
Because I was doing some practice and learning things, and so I did a cleansing, scraping the walls of my room, which I hadn't touched way too long.
Okay.
And instead of grounding out the energy or just disposing of it, I was like, let's try it. And it was not tasty. And I was kind of exhausted afterwards, but I'm like, hey, it's processed. At least I can do that.
Well, and that's also why I say you can use an amulet, crystal, what have you, and just program it to only suck out negative energy.
Well, I don't have to only do negative.
No, but I mean, you can do different ones for different things.
Okay,
And
so
that way you hang them on your wall, keep a store of them. You might want to label them though.
Oh, what do I feel like eating today?
Exactly. Exactly. Think about it.
I could use that as for different energies, not energy, emotions. For it's like,
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of emotion do I need right now?
I mean, heck, if you really wanted to, sexual energy, wear something while you're doing that, siphon off the bright burst, and that way you can have that later.
That makes me giggle because there is a meme about that.
Mm-hmm.
But yes.
But that's one of the reasons why even though this is a religious thing for me, it's also, since it's always on me, it has some of my energy stored in it, so that if I ever need to, I can pull from it.
Another fun thing you could do. No, I'll message you that one because I don't. That on air is just a bad idea. But yeah, no, just get different crystals, hang them up. I know I can ask Nicole if she'd be willing to help me wire wrap some of them for you. Whether you want to do an earring or a necklace.
Well, like that might also be a good idea for me to have some of those programmed clear cords for when I do the therapeutic conversations to pull extra.
Oh yeah, because you'll be able to get a whole
have them on
bunch.
the table between us, kind of thing.
Yeah, I know. For me, inadvertently, a guy actually overloaded a white selenite, and he actually split it down the middle. It was a boyfriend of a friend of mine, and she would come in and hand these to me, and she would always be buying her guy new ones. But I would hold the two halves, and I would just get a recharge. Okay, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm just, you know what? You get yours for free now. Just trade them back to me because it was so. Well, hey, if I had a long night up with Arthur or something, and I hadn't slept, I could hold one of those and just. Oh, okay. I'm good. I'm good to go. I'm good to go. Better than a cup of coffee. But at the same time, because Thor is a vamp, I hesitate to recommend white selenite.
Oh, really?
Well,
You're just gonna pull up a white selenite wand.
I was ready.
Oh no, just as a how do I put this? For you, you'd have to experiment, but I would be careful recommending that because of how you did with Reiki energy.
Yeah, so
it amplifies though, which might be
and I can
interesting
pull
thing to play around with.
Like I'm messing with it right now, and I can pull a little bit from it, and I can feel that it has a lot, but it's not. I can't process all of what it does. It's like almost like it has 20 different types of things, and I can only take 2.
Yeah. Selenite's pretty awesome. But again, because of your specific energy type, I guess we're going to say, I would be careful which stone to mess around with. The other one that I would say, but then again, like I said, you're a vamp, so I'm unsure. When the store opens back up, what we're going to do is we're just going to lay out a bunch of stones in front of you and we're going to test it out. But that's one of the advantages to having a shop.
Yeah, and that's why I asked if you wanted to do like experiments.
Oh, that'd be fun. Just crystal grid cast and see what happens. The whole, go.
The other thing I'd love to do is get this on either Curlian photography or aura photography. But again, especially after this, I'm way too broke for that crap. And all the aura photography people are going to charge me to do it. So, I've asked. But no, what I would say is a citrine.
Interesting.
I know,
especially since you were talking about it this week.
Yeah, I know it's got a lot of sunny, positive energy, but I'm wondering if that might work because I keep seeing in my mind.
It's going to be interesting if it actually
look for one that has a reverse polarity.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hey, Thor, I want you to do a quick scan of this and see how it feels. If you can eat off of people through tech, you can sense stones too.
Yeah, it's.
Now, granted,
it's like shielded.
What?
I can't touch it.
Try further.
It's like an empty. It's like when I try to feed from fire. It's like there's nothing there.
That's
It
what
has
I
a
was
lot of
worried
fire
about.
energy.
Okay. So try this one.
Obsidian or a new mine?
Nope. How about that one?
I can almost skim it, but I can't get into it.
Okay, that's a garnet.
Oh, garnet. Try this.
Okay.
I'm curious.
This is fun.
All right. By the way, we're getting more viewers now that we're off of Norse paganism and on.
I know, right?
Everybody's
Apparently,
fun.
me being the vamp is always a like
Well,
pulling.
no. The minute we went into the empath stuff, more people started watching. Which, by
Empath,
the way,
yeah.
guys, I
Yep.
do want to do one program on psychic vampirism and also one program on empath, how to deal with it, how to diagnose it. Go ahead.
Okay, the energy from that is interesting. It's not something I can survive on, but I can mess with it.
Black
Is it Black
Moonstone.
Moon? Yep, Black
Black
Moonstone.
Moonstone.
I love that stuff. Oddly enough, by the way, Black Moonstone also counteracts psychic attack.
The ironic.
Why I felt like
Ironic.
it was like my energy was being swirled.
Oh, I wonder. Because I think Ruby might be too intense on its own, but try Ruby Kyanite.
Oh,
Because it shouldn't be as lifey.
Oh, I can actually take some of that.
That might be a
Ruby
good one then, Ruby Kyanite.
It's not like a full feed or anything like that, but it's like taking a sip of water.
A snack.
Like it's necessary but good.
okay.
Oh, we got one.
Black Kyanite?
No. What about this?
We got one of the scammers in the chat.
Oh, hold on. Well, hello, scammer. Ah, yes, I know. Stacy Lynn, message me. Message Dr. Hamid, Solution Temple for any kind of spell you want. Love spells, lost love spells, divorce spells, bring
Messing
back
with love
X
unless you
spells.
like make it
Pregnancy?
very ambiguous.
But you don't do any reversals? Like, rude?
Okay, and now we are going. I blocked the user, and now we are going to delete the comment. Now, Cass, try
Yeah,
this. Try it. Num num. Like I say to my son, num num, num num.
Why is that like zappy?
Do you think this would make a good talisman to hold energy?
See, now I don't know how well I can do it on because it's a lot of reaching for through tech, but
Num num.
to be a battery, I'd have to like put energy into it and see then I have to pull it back out.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
But what was that? That was like zappy.
Okay, try it now.
What did you put into that?
So, can you pull it out? Yes or no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
not like
Cool.
it's super lot, but like it's.
I just put a
maybe I
quick
need
phrase
bigger
in.
stone. Yeah.
Okay. No, this is organite.
Interesting.
I got to thinking about it. Organite is a composite. Now, do you guys know what? Well, Nico, you probably do. Do you guys know what the difference is between organite and plastic?
Organite's a generator. But
Bingo.
it's also got copper and a whole bunch of other crystals in it.
Well, the resin
conductor.
holds a charge and it conducts a charge. You can put anything in the resin you want. You can put copper in, stones, all kinds of stuff. And so what I'm thinking, Thor, maybe you might want to have one out of resin, an organite piece.
Yeah, because they're pretty good generators.
Mhm.
The other one I was thinking, what about a chakra extractor?
Chakra extractor. What do you mean?
So it's a specifically shaped crystal used in healing. So
Is that obsidian?
Yeah, it's a gold sheen obsidian.
The only issue with obsidian is it's incredibly highly protective. And I've actually used it to ward off psychic vamps before.
But this specific one is for removing energy and transferring energy to and from people.
Okay, so the
with the
resin,
shaping.
you were right about the resin. It won't be amazing, but it will work because I have little resin skull.
Well, but the thing is, you can
Having
put different
crystals in it.
stuff
Yeah.
within the resin. The copper's going to be a conductor. The resin's a conductor. You put a clear quartz in there or a Herkimer diamond. You get your different stuff lined up.
Ooh,
Yeah, because I
love
put into
Herkimer
it,
diamond.
and then what I got out of it was less, but I still was able to get it out easier.
So,
interesting.
This one is made from Betty Bell. It's from Betty Bell, and she's the Oregon Society. Are you okay, Thor?
All day.
A lot of spicy.
I do my own resin at the shop now. That's the other reason why I was mentioning it. So we can actually lay it down and make you a pendant.
Well, you can, once you know what stones work well for you, you could put them in an orgonite.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's probably the best plan. That way, like, it's accumulation. And see if that works, or if I just need a larger stone by itself. It's hard to say.
Okay. You want larger.
Ooh, nice. What's that? Is that clear quartz?
Calcite.
I kind of want to lick it. It looks yummy.
That's weird that you said that, because like I was.
No, it's really not weird.
Like I was tasting salt.
Okay. Thor, you haven't known me long enough. I really like crystals and rocks.
It's like, is that a water-based stone?
Yes.
Calcite?
That's why. I was
Water.
thinking, like,
It's water air.
It's like I'm drinking salty water.
It's water air.
Huh.
Well, then you might play around with some of the calcites if you can do it. If they don't affect you. One of the things you might actually play around with is Dragon's Blood calcite.
Ooh.
It's a red calcite. Yeah. I bet you'd like it.
Or the multicolor calcites too. Because that may give you a variety to base.
The other one would be hematoid quartz.
Yep. Hematoid quartz. Ooh, that might be a really good one. If you can find it, Caribbean calcite. It's argonite and blue calcite.
No, I have some in the shop. I love this stuff.
There too, yeah.
I love this stuff.
Because they've discontinued the mines on it.
Yeah,
so what's out there now is unfortunately out there.
Yeah, we had a drastic jump in viewership the second we switched over to empathic stuff. Well, this is the Psychic Roundtable, so
exactly, yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely say organite, clear quartz, and then mess with the calcites.
What about animal totems? Do you work with bones and things?
Unfortunately not. I would be interested in trying.
I'm curious to see what happens. We'll try.
Interesting. There's like a whisper.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was like. The bones are from something passed on. So
but
to
they still
have a receptacle. Have as a receptacle. I don't know how well.
Maybe. But yeah, I can pull like a tiny bit from that, but it's like it's a good living energy, but it's like a whisper of living.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking too, is like they do hold a little bit of life, but you could always do a familiar ritual on one of those to give it more life oomph.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't have a familiar, so I've been like, I think that's what I've been craving, kind of thing. Like I've been wanting, because all of a sudden I'm like, I want a pet when I'm not a big pet person. That's hence the spider.
Yeah. Actually. Hold on. I'm going to go ahead and pop this apart, and we're going to see. Take a feel of that. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Can you pull out of it at all?
No.
That's the ruby.
Oh.
Really?
I had a guy give me a bunch of them because he knew I wanted to make some into earrings and jewelry. I like rubies a lot.
Maybe that's why I've never really cared for them, even though they're my birthstone.
I have an interesting one then. If ruby doesn't work, what about fire agate?
Oh,
No, that one's like similar to the citrine, not as like blank as a citrine to me, but it's pretty much flat.
See, I could feel that one on that one too. It started bouncing back, and I was like, oh. But that's interesting because that's what that stone does. Is fire agate bounces energy back where it came from.
Oh,
It's really, really good to be worn for protection charm.
I bet, yeah. Huh. Intriguing. I love all the experimentation.
I'm trying to think what I have next to me that might do weird things for that. We've tried
Experiment
citrine.
with little stones I have.
Well,
I
I
really
know.
don't have many.
Hey, actually, I know one person. They used a doll. They used a tiny doll. They got it off a Hot Topic, and they used it as kind of a puppet to suck in energy. They just clipped it
Yes.
on the purse. One of those little monster dolls. The yarny monster doll things.
Yeah,
Huh.
like
Yeah, like something like that. But it was from Hot
little
Topic.
puppet.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant any type of doll because I grabbed.
No, I mean, you can clip anything on your backpack or whatever and just use it. Heck, if you wanted, you could even open it up and sew a crystal into it.
True.
Interesting one to try. Because you do the whole energy conversion through therapeutic things. In folk magic, we use black buttons to hold and store negative energy and curses. What if you go buy a bag of black buttons and give them to your friends and make them carry them? And let them rub them when they're stressed and worried, and then collect them
Like a
periodically.
worry stone, yeah.
Yeah, and let them collect them, and then you have a jar of batteries.
Granted, negative batteries, but still something that.
It can be positive too, like that they hold all energies. But we specifically use them as
kinda like that
disposable
idea.
curse removal.
Out of
I definitely want
curiosity,
the white or flat ones, kind of like the Coraline type.
well, I was going to say, what about like brass buttons?
Yeah, any kind. Black specifically used to remove negativity and curses, but different colored buttons bring in different things. Metal buttons would be really good. Copper would be really conductive.
Yeah, I'll
Brass
probably
would
try a
be.
bunch of different ones to see which is best.
Can you handle copper, Thor? Are
I
you
mean-
okay with it?
It's watery.
Yeah, I don't have that much of an issue with copper.
Okay.
Say brass
It's
might
not
be an
as
issue,
great
though.
as because handling silver. It's nice. I like handling silver.
Silver.
You could do silver buttons. They make them.
Yeah, but they wear down pretty quick if you're using them as a worry stone.
Or pearl.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I'll talk to the antique lady and see what she has.
No, you do not want secondhand. Not unless you can clean them really well, dude.
Salt
You
water.
know me. And plus, also, I'm not going to grab it if I can read that it's not what I want. That's why even sometimes there's something I want when I'm thrifting, but I
It's
can't
icky.
feed off what's in there. So I'm like, I don't even want to get it.
Yeah.
But the other stuff, normally people would be like, get it, and they would have a hard time. But I'm like, it was a snack.
That's why I
Okay.
love energy vampires.
$239 for a set of 10 black buttons on Amazon.
That's not bad at all.
I want to say I picked up a 2-pound bag of them at Walmart for under $10 in the sewing section.
Yeah. And I actually have to go to Walmart tomorrow, so that works out.
And you can buy smaller packs too if you just want to mess around with it for like 50 cents or $1.
True.
But I use them heavily in my practice to remove things, so I just bulk bought them.
Yeah.
I was running low, and it's like with everything going on, I just let's buy the 2-pound bag. We'll get through this. On a side note, never pick up black buttons you find on the sidewalk.
No.
Especially if you live in the Midwest.
What?
Or the Ozark area. It's a Midwestern folk magic.
Really?
I've only ever seen it in the Midwest and in like Ozark folk magic, which is where my family practice comes from.
And yeah, some people put some intense stuff in them. I have done that, but that's because like my attention was drawn to it because I'm like, something is giving off something that I can have.
Well, for you, it's different. That's tasty.
Not all of them. I actually have passed them up because they're just like, okay, this is too much, or it's the wrong type. But other ones, and some of them are intense. Like someone's going through some rough shit.
That would be something that would be interesting to attempt, but I wouldn't know where to point you to one. So there's a thing called tickets. It's a folk magic ritual where you drill a hole in a tree and then you put your petition in the tree with the person's name, and this can be done for healing or harming.
Feel bad for the tree, though.
Well, the process is you remove the core, put everything in, and the tree heals back over, and as long as the tree remains healthy, it heals the person. Whereas if you stuff the tree with salt and rotting things, it does the opposite to the person.
That is evil. Wow.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, so hence that's why if you use it as a hex,
they're devastating. They're wasting
really
hex.
Heavily. Because that's more than just the person you're hexing, that's a tree as well. So it's like threefold hits hard.
But that's the kind of weird ethics in folk magic. To learn how to heal, you learn how to harm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, because if you understand how it happened, you can understand how to fix it better.
Because if I would use that spell and that tree dies from a disease, I may unintentionally be negatively working on somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful and be very cautious when you're tying spells to things.
And choose the right tree.
Yeah.
Well, okay, wait a minute. What if you chose like a poison oak or something?
Ooh.
What would that do?
You would infest their life.
Yeah, that would
you would slowly poison and irritate them. So that's like we use nettles and like stinging, biting, and thorny herbs to irritate people.
Yeah.
It would probably just like slowly whittle their health down and make them very...
Or cause madness.
Ooh. No, I would put them in poppies for that.
In what?
Poppies.
Oh, wow.
That would be a silent madness.
So
it could be very loud, too.
If you don't know who's coming at you, but you want to get them off your ass forever and cause them just horrible misery, what would you do?
I would... so go to your local graveyard, pay your way in at the gate, and then you are going to look for a judge's grave.
Okay.
Start paying the judge. So your liquor, cigarettes, coins, whatever offerings you're comfortable with. Get a working relationship with them, and then I would make a mirror box. So make a mirror box.
Okay.
Take a small wooden box, plastic, and then you're going to break mirrors. If they're significant to you, better. If you're willing to sacrifice it, and then glue those to the inside of this box. And then make an effigy of the person.
Well, you don't know who they are. You've got multiple people.
You don't have to know their name. So you're going to make an effigy of like a blank doll. And then you're going to pin to that my enemy.
Okay.
And then bind the doll. Fill it with poppy seeds, mustard, and parsley.
Ooh.
And then optionally, depending on how bad it is, you can pour liquor in there too. Okay. If you really want to mess them up.
Give them an alcoholic too.
Close the box. You can seal it if you want, and then you're going to want to... I would bury it at the judge's grave after getting permission to do so from the judge. But you want to make sure you bury that deep enough that it's not going to be found. Okay. And then typically if I'm doing a working like that, you're going to leave it there 7 to 21 days. Retrieve the box, and then I'm going to go cover that box in tinfoil, put it in a real dark place, and bury it somewhere you go often. So you can keep an eye on them after they've been judged.
Huh. That's an intense one.
Interesting. So you have to
and then-
keep it near you, though.
Yes.
Just to keep an eye on it, yeah.
When you're doing spells like that for a long term, you want it to be somewhere that you can go back and recharge it. But the premise of doing the mirror, or putting them in this mirror, is that they're reflecting, it's a karma spell, reflecting all of their good and bad actions back upon them.
Okay.
But we're tilting the tide to the negative with, poppy seed causes confusion and chaos. Mustard makes your life absolutely hell. And parsley's for the dead. You're holding a funeral for this person, pretty much. Not to necessarily end their life, but to make their life as awful as possible.
Okay.
And then adding liquor would possibly lead to addiction or cause issues with confusion and all kinds of nasty things. Liquor is fantastic for those kinds of spells.
Yeah, it's all based on what you put in there. Like if you want physical injury, you put stuff
spines, needles.
thorns.
I like black thorns, rose thorns,
even nails and stuff like that.
Coffin nails.
Oh yeah, those are potent.
Now, the question is, though, it could be one or many that are coming at you. You literally do not know.
That's why my enemies. Yeah, my enemies plural.
Okay.
You can do that with a return to sender and a compact mirror too. So you would write out your return to sender spell, and then put my enemies, but backwards, like you read it in a mirror, in a compact, and then put your drive away oils, hot foot, whatever you want.
What do you use? What would you recommend?
I would use pretty much like a hot foot powder. So mine's chili powder, sulfur, acidifa, coffee grounds. It speeds up the work.
Okay.
And then I put a little bit of gunpowder in there, which also speeds up the work. And then I anoint my paper in clove oil after I write it. Clove oil is for domination. To gain, it gives you control over the situation.
Okay.
And then fold that paper away from myself, put it in the compact, and then I just leave it closed on my altar.
Okay. For how long?
And then indefinitely. It kind of depends on how long, were you having a negative issue with somebody once? Is this a reoccurring problem? I like to leave I have a blanket one that I leave, which is just like return to sender to my enemies. If you want to send negativity towards me, great, enjoy it. It's coming right back. I just leave it on my altar, and then as part of my weekly devotionals, I burn my candles to refeed my spells.
Okay. And this just sends it all back to them, or does it multiply it?
Just a straight send back. You can multiply it with your incantation if you want, but I just send them back what they get.
You could use a glasses lens inside the compact to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And that will just kind of
Yeah.
get everything done.
Cheap and easy way to do it. Just put a mirror facing outside of your house on your front door.
On the front door.
Yep.
Okay. You don't have to draw anything on the back of the mirror or anything?
You can draw sigils on it with salt water or holy water if you want, but it's not necessary.
Okay.
All right, so Nico, I do have a question for you. I've been trying. I know it has a use, but I haven't been able to find anything in my research. Granted, I don't research enough because I'm always busy with everything else. But grave moss, what kind of stuff can you use that for?
So grave moss from a headstone, grave moss from a coffin, grave moss from.
the graveyard, freely given, like paid for.
It's used to soften things.
Soften. Okay.
So moss from graves is used in several circumstances. From like a headstone or from like the top of a grave, it is used to soften things like grief. It is the beautiful blanket that comes after death.
Oh wow.
Okay. I knew it was something like that, but I wasn't sure. Okay, so because I have some that we had paid for, like not like bought, but like imparted energy to trade. And it's just like now we have it, and like, what do I do with it?
Because there's some really messed up ones from like historical folk magic, which involve scraping the moss off of a skull in a graveyard from before they buried people, and it's like, oh damn, like it was a cool read, but like, oh no, you can't do that anymore.
That plus also like doing the same thing for like a skull on a battlefield would probably have a lot of energy.
Yeah, it was the same of the same articles talk about going to specific places where wars happened and feeding the spirits to do vengeance workings and things. And I'm sitting there like, God,
Okay,
no.
So it'd be useful for grief spell bags.
Yes, grief spell.
Okay, I'll let my boyfriend know because he's going to be he's doing some experimentation, and he's the one that's leading. We're kind of making a coven.
It may vary too based off of whose grave you got it from.
Yeah.
Whenever you're dealing with things from a grave, look at the person's life if possible.
So this was the it wasn't over a specific grave.
Okay, so just blanket graveyard.
Yeah.
It's consecrated too, by the way.
Yep.
And consecrated grave dirt or like, plant matter helps plants grow better. A lot of people in the Ozark folk tradition will specifically go to the church by their graveyards and go steal dirt to go put in their garden beds because they swear it makes your plants grow better.
Well, it's a mix of both the consecration and also dead body fertilizer.
I was gonna say, yeah, they're literally fertilizing their plants with some weird stranger they bring in.
But that's only true if the grave is from before 1950.
Yep. Yeah.
Because we use vaults now, so you're now sealed in a like epoxy or wooden vault.
That too. Yeah.
So you don't leak out of your coffins like people used to, which does change how grave dirt works in the modern time.
Yep.
Because that's why grave dirt does what it does when you collect it from a grave. It contains the essence of a person. It's literally their goo in the dirt.
Yeah. The translation of old spellbook to modern spellwork is intriguing because like how life is and what has happened has changed how we have to use things.
Yeah, and that's a huge part of my practice is doing the research to find, new spells and things like that, and then going through the ethical judgments of, do I need to revive this? Can I modernize it? Does it need to come as it is? Can I alter it? Or does this need to stay buried because nobody needs that anymore?
Yeah, right? Because there's a lot of...
There's some...
And that's one of the things that, like, so because... I mean, I'm still writing my grimoire. So, like, I'm taking what I learn and making my, like, what feels right to me. So it's personalized. And then my boyfriend, he's going on the herb side of that. We're actually like are weirdly splitting it up, like very much our like pre-coven start is literally like I'm the one that's like focused on divination and all that. He's focused on the herbery and all that. And
I love divination.
Right. Well,
and herbs.
I really much more like I'm glad that I do energy work because that's kind of more what I was interested in the beginning. I was like, scrying's boring, but then that's what I was good at.
Scrying's never boring, dude.
It is if you don't get
Hollywood
into trance
kind of
states
made it
easy.
look boring.
Okay, it's not
But-
boring.
I love scrying.
Yeah. And so it turns out that I'm the crone.
Ha! That's funny. Okay.
The other positions are mutable, but
Very funny.
apparently I'm always going to be the crone.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, isn't a bad thing. It's knowledge.
Yeah.
Like the one that
Knowledge,
got
experience. You know.
Mhm.
But the future looks interesting as long as it goes as it's supposed to.
Oh yeah. And
Well,
then sometimes it's like you're not allowed to talk about that.
I know.
We
Like,
showed you.
there are a few things I can't talk about because they're like, keep your plan. Literally, the card came up. Keep plans to yourself. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I've had that bite myself in the butt a couple times where it's like, do some scrying, and it's like, okay, I got this, and I'm asking my coven like, hey, I don't know what do you think about this? Yeah, that was a death prediction for somebody. And I was like, oh, I'm now noting what this is for so that if I see it again, I know, but one of the coven members had their friend had passed away. And I was doing a smoke reading and I just kept seeing empty chairs show up in the smoke, and I was like, and it was like a big throne, and I'm sitting there like, was Odin's throne? Like, okay, weird. Nope, empty chair, like somebody left.
Yep.
And it was like, oh,
That's
damn.
the holder that, like, one that is a big part of whatever they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were.
That's.
Yeah.
I actually have encountered that one specifically myself before my grandpa passed. So I understand that one. And he was the rock of the family, so.
Yep.
Interesting.
Omens are an intriguing
Yeah.
and rough.
Omens are intriguing, often confusing.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you though, when you talk to your guides, when you talk to different spirits and things like that, they can give you a lot better of an idea than an omen will, or they can help you interpret it.
Oh yeah, because some of the things we think are signs and omens are not, and have
They're
nothing
like,
to do with anything. They're like, we didn't send that. We didn't send that. Why do you keep looking at the duck? It's a duck.
It's a duck. Yeah. No, it's, I don't know. You know, I was watching a movie and they were going through this whole process of resurrecting a dead Egyptian priestess or something, you know, and they were doing all this and doing all that and doing all this. And I'm like, you know, it would have been so much fucking easier to just phone her ass up on the other side. And then I realized, okay, maybe I am kind of lucky I can talk to some of this stuff.
That's very good. Because
I
I
don't
do that.
really enjoy it. You know, my dad does. He loves it. He talks
Everyone's
all the
niche.
time. What?
Everyone has their niche.
Yeah, but I never really enjoyed it. And the spirits down here in Des Moines, they're just buttholes. They're horrible people, or at least horrible spirits. But in some ways, I am very lucky that I can actually talk to them, or at least communicate. I wouldn't really say talk because they don't exactly use speech. You know, it's more of a feeling, thought,
empathic connection,
concept, interpretive dance, image. You know,
See, I get clear knowing, so that's just like they're just like talking in the back of my head, but it's not coming through my ear.
It's literally, for me, it is feel, see, concept beamed into my mind, and I'm like,
okay,
I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do with that.
I don't get any.
Cool.
But we know why.
I was gonna say,
I have a friend that was like that, where it's like I thought he was a psychic vampire. For the longest time, I was like, "There's no way you're not."
Or something.
Well, he just absorbed, like it was just a black hole. Like you couldn't do anything to him. And I was like, "Are you absorbing the energy? Like, are you a psychic vampire? It's just gone, just like a void as a person." And I'm just like,
awesome though.
"Huh."
That's intriguing.
How do I get that? I want that, Nico. How do I get that?
Like, energy work doesn't work on them. Like, there's like energetically, you can't even sense like what you would consider like a chakra system on him. And it was just like, I don't know what's wrong with you, but like,
Are you kidding me? I'll take
You're-
that in a heartbeat. Give me that.
It doesn't sound healthy.
it was due to some kind of like energetic trauma at some point.
Yeah.
But it was so interesting because like,
Was
well,
there
they
any
were
way
like,
to fix it?
not in this lifetime.
Okay.
I got that much. Whereas like it happened outside of this life, they're in this life like that, and they might be able to fix it later through some lessons, but
Okay.
they can't do like any energy work based magic. Like they're pagan, but can't.
They're
Like,
shut off from
Do
half
they
the-
eat curses as well? Do they eat curses, spirits, anything like that? No. Darn it. Okay. Well, fine.
just a vacuum.
Ah.
I've been looking into the sin eating though, so there's a couple
Okay.
types of it.
So I have two things. One has to do with omens. One has to do with intriguing people we have met. I recently have met someone, like I've known them for a while, but like I didn't really like check on their energy or do anything like that. They had the strongest shields I had ever seen, and they don't know how to shield.
Are they heavily traumatized?
No, they have. And it sounds like I still like make myself sound crazy, but every single like question I asked led to an answer that essentially like makes me think like Fey blood.
Possible.
Because like like I would have a hard time even breaking those shields with like some of my hardest attacks.
Can they extend their shields around other people?
They don't know how. They don't even know how to like lower or raise them.
They're just nulled themselves, so they can't.
But they're able to drop them when they're comfortable.
I was going to say,
realize.
no, I know somebody like
Huh.
this. I worked with him for a long time. He's able to clear. He's able to shield. Once his mental health went in the toilet, everything kind of reversed on him.
Oof.
But he's able to shield, and we worked together long enough so he could sense his own shields and he could extend them around other people. When I had a lot of people coming in with negative entities and stuff like that, I would have him sit with them and extend his shield around them, and they would feel it. Some would even start crying because they were finally safe. Because nothing could hit these guys with his shields around them. That's why I say, get your friend with the energy shielding, start having them sense.
Yeah, we plan on doing some training.
Okay. Have them work with it
Yeah.
because they can actually help others with it as well.
They do have one extra thing that is intriguing.
What?
So they can sort of manifest. It's
Okay.
like luck-based manifestation, but by doing so, they incur bad luck in the future. They're borrowing from the future.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that.
Yeah, but
I
they
knew
have
a lady,
low control over it.
I knew a girl, and her parents actually put her in a mental hospital. They had her locked up because of the stuff she was doing and talking about. She didn't know enough to be quiet. Okay. So she spent most of her teens in and out of the mental hospital. Then she walks into my shop. I'm like, no, let's sit down. Let's talk about this. And she got to talking. That girl could actually see the lines of fate to different things. She could kind of pluck on them, and she could manifest. She could get anything to happen that she wanted.
My sister-in-law's boyfriend does that too.
Almost.
This friend, she can't like. It has to be like a passive for her, because if she tries, nothing happens.
Oh,
But
yeah.
like she just all of a sudden thinks this is what needs to happen. It just happens.
So she's getting in her own way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that's a good thing, because if she's borrowing luck from the future, you do not want to do that.
Yes.
You
and no.
actually, no, you don't. Trust me. I've
Yeah,
seen it
you
happen
don't, but that's-
and seen it done. No, you want to turn and manipulate transmute bad luck.
Yeah. So I did some like readings to find out what we can do to help with it. And so the issue is not so much that she can't control, like use it or not use it.
Yeah.
It's that when she automatically uses it, she uses too much of it for what's needed.
Okay.
Oh, she's overloading.
Yeah. So like to say change a stoplight to green,
pulling
she's
a
using
ton.
it enough to where it's like literally like 10 stoplights.
Okay, so she needs to work on energy control.
Yeah.
Actually, what I would say for her is stop using it altogether and instead focus on actually changing the event.
She doesn't like mean to use it. She has to first
What's her
understand
trigger?
how she can stop it.
What's her trigger?
Don't know. It just
So
Have her keep a journal. Have her keep a journal of when this happens. Find out her trigger. There's always a trigger when you have a reflex case. Find the trigger. You'll find out how to stop it. And then you'll find out how she can turn it. Because somewhere in some part of her, she knows. She does have control over it. She's just not brought it to her conscious mind.
yeah, because I described to her how like it's almost like in the back middle of your head that you feel like a small pull when it happens.
Yep, it's
Yeah, and she was like, "Yeah, that's exactly what happens. That's where the thought happens."
and she's got to get there and pause that before it goes to the conscious or wherever it's going, where it happens. She's got to stop because what she's going to do, she's not going to learn to control, and she's going to end up coming into something really, really bad.
Yeah, I literally like tried to do readings of like, is there anything I can do to help because she's already has a backlash coming, and I'm like, is there any way to help with this? And the thing that we found out that's interesting is, so she like when it happens, she kind of has to like recharge, like most people, of course, and the only thing that I can do to help. She's still going to have to go through this hard time, and I can't make it better, but I can make things better for her in general as a battery. Like I'm the battery for her. She has a lot of power.
Be careful threading yourself in with that, because there's going to be some potential backlashes coming up. I can already tell you that.
Oh yeah, and I know somewhat of what's going to happen.
The best way you can help her is to get her journaling and get her figuring out what her trigger is, how to stop it.
Essentially, I have to take my crone role to forefront and be the guiding.
Ashley Rainwater, what y'all talking about? Just wandering. Okay, Ashley. Well, we were speaking on Norse paganism and then being empath and, that sort of stuff. And now we're talking about spell work and energy work, luck manipulation, all that kind of stuff.
We're all over the place.
Yeah, we're really never sticks to one
on
topic.
That was actually the omen that I wanted to bring up and see how you interpret it, Nico.
Many blessings, y'all, from Ashley. Thank you,
And
Ashley.
well.
Many blessings to you as well.
So the omen that I had seen, and I got verification that it was an omen, but it was two crows holding a string sitting on a telephone line.
So two crows are joy.
Yeah.
And then holding a string.
It's an interesting one, right?
What color was the string?
That was a while ago. Green.
Financial?
There's a green yarn, yeah.
So happy finances?
That is when I got the better job. At that time. But yeah. It's like omens like that where it's like, okay, this is definitely probably one.
Oh yeah. Because sometimes it's just too weird. You're like, the signs are really signing right now.
Yeah, exactly. It was like very much, and they weren't like tugging on it, like trying to fight over it and like that. It was just they just both landed with it in their mouths, just sat there and just looked at me like, here it is. What is going on? You
Okay.
Dennis
Nice to
just sent me
y'all.
that.
Welcome. Okay, cool. And whatever you believe, I believe. Okay. No, that was me that I sent you that. He sent me that. I thought it was fun. Anyways, hey, Nico, quick question. Had an interesting case a while back, and I've always wondered about it. And so I'm going to ask you if you've ever seen anything like it. A lady came in, and she was fostered out. She was originally given up for adoption. I didn't know this at the time. When I scanned her, it looked like she had been hollowed out, almost like somebody had taken a cake carving knife and carved out a big oval, like something had been hatched out of her. Thoughts? And she always said she felt like something was incomplete, something was missing, and there was no maternal bond. I couldn't sense, you know how you there's a cord there. You can ding, ding, ding.
It feels
Okay.
like a really bad, like, not a cord cut, but a cord, like, yank that just pulled it.
Yeah,
was gonna
damage
say,
to the. Was
wasn't-
the like energy center system there, or was like?
It was completely cut out. It was like she had been used to hatch something out of her.
I mean, there's a couple folkloric like fae type things that do things like that, but generally you don't survive.
Yeah.
No, she was walking around, had a kid of her own, but
That
she
would be. There
prenatal
is a practice where you can like contain like certain like soul parts of people. Like you can remove like somebody's like third eye
okay.
and like block them off from using it, or like block out certain parts of them. So it could be something like that, but that could also be from trauma too, where she might have just had a soul fracture, where she had gone through some level of trauma that was so great that she just broke. And I mean, being in the foster care system, having a parent that gave you up for a reason that.
I've seen different stuff like that. I've worked with different clients. This is the only one I've ever seen that looks like somebody carved an oval-sized piece of cake out of her.
Otherwise, like maybe a long-standing egregore that popped. Like if she had a spirit in her energy that fed off of her long enough that it just absolutely damaged her, like on a soul level.
Yeah.
Interesting. Have you ever had a client who had anything hatched out of their soul or an ancestor rebirthed out of them?
Yes.
Interesting.
I've run into a walk-in where somebody's ancestor came in.
Okay.
And then I've seen people that, whether through a spell created an egregore or through like their own work, had a spirit that they ended up feeding enough it became sentient and then like ripped out of them.
Oh.
mean,
No bueno.
I have heard of something similar to that, but then they used it. Like how I don't understand how you can use an egregore.
So it's generally you start as a thought form, so you create.
Hang on, just 1 second. I'm going to answer Ashley. Are we paranormal? No, we did have one on earlier this evening.
Yeah.
I'm
my
an
bad.
amateur paranormal, but I'm not a professional.
She's new and trying to understand. And then Ashley, her heart probably. No, that would be interesting. Okay.
Ooh.
But with the paranormal thing, I would love to be able to be paranormal investigator, but you don't want me along.
I'm going to say psychic vampire and spirits are not. They're not.
Because I can eat them, they don't want to be near me.
Right. They don't go together.
Most of them. There's been a couple.
But like a thought form, so like if you picture an apple in your head and then put enough effort into this apple, if you mentally take a bite out of the apple, you should taste it. That is like the process of a thought form. So you put enough time and energy into it to create a sensation.
It's kind of like psychosomatic.
Yeah. And there are practices where you put enough time and energy into creating a being that it starts to develop its own.
Right.
So they begin their own.
It's like making AI.
Yeah, it's essentially you're making an AI and then they go rogue. Is normally what happens. They gain sentience and then they have their own will. And then, as everybody knows how fun working with things that have full free will are, they can either be great or be a problem. And you get to the point where, if this doesn't like what it's been doing, it can do bad things. And in some cases, like, you put all of this into a guardian spirit, and then the guardian spirit starts viewing you as the problem. Ran into that one once. And I was like, I don't. You got to unmake that, but like, ooh.
Me too. I like traveling and learning. Cool, Ashley. That is very neat.
And the process to unmake something like that can be very intensive, because
Yes.
the break something down like that is a long process, to be frank.
Now, I was gonna say I do remember my dad. He told me a story about a lady, and she had concentrated and made herself a friend, and then she thought that was it. Then the friend started to take on more pointed features and got a little more evil and a little more evil because she just let it go after that. And then she had to spend a very long time, I forget how long, it's something like a week or a month or something, just literally thinking it out of existence. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no thanks.
It gets worse when they forget about it after they become sentient too. You make this imaginary friend or something as a kid, and then put all this time and energy into it, and then it gains sentience, and now it follows you.
Yep.
And you're now an adult, and then it's really weird, that thing that I used to like as a kid's following me, or you're out getting a reading and they're like, the hell is that?
Well, I guess
Especially when you're the really lonely kid, that makes a lot of them.
Oh, I don't want to be, no. I thought seeing a shield composed of a bunch of animal spirits melished together was bad enough. That sounds like my personal hell.
no.
Tea parties get interesting.
Well, that would go back to the whole imaginary friend thing. I mean, if you create your own.
Yep,
because
it can
there's
be anything.
a practice called Tulpa.
Tulpa.
Yeah, the Tulpa, and like that's a whole thing.
Yeah, those are dangerous.
I remember I messed around a long time.
You didn't mention that on that one.
I did something that it was pretty early in the whole spirit thing for me, seeing spirits. A negative entity tried coming after Arthur. And so I grabbed hold of it, and I didn't know what to do with it once I had a hold of it. And so I just kind of started sucking it into me to see what I could do with it. Yeah. And then I started changing it. Until I had a new entity.
Yeah, transmuted it.
Yeah. It was very, very odd. But I had a new entity, and I always felt really bad because I wasn't sure what to do with this thing, but it just kept hanging out. One of the people told me that apparently I'd had a baby with this thing, and I was like, I don't think so.
Something I need to know about?
No, honey. Anyways.
You just got the idea of like mama. Like it's just hanging around because like you fixed it. So it's like, mother.
Well, no, it actually manifested as a Hold on. Okay, never mind. Anyway, moving past what it manifested as. But no, I ended up finally sending it on to be reborn because I was like, buddy, I love you and all that, but I don't know what to do with you. And I feel kind of bad because you're just hanging out. And the person that was like, you had a baby with this thing is like, give it a job. I'm like, but what would I give it a job as?
Yeah.
If it's one of my kids, I'm not going to give him a job.
Yeah,
You know?
you don't need like the spirit to do any work or anything. Yeah, like if
If it's a child, I mean, no, I would just be keeping it and taking care of it, you know? Its particular form that it took was very interesting for me, but I was just like, huh, you know? But before it left, it would snuggle up with me at night. I would have Arthur on one side and it on the other, and we would just be chill. You know, it was a very odd experience. Not unpleasant, but very odd.
You know how we wondered if like my vampirism is like has started later in life, or if I've always been one. Mm-hmm. I think there actually is something that lends to me always have been one. What? Because so that example of making lots of imaginary friends, yeah, that was me. That was my example. But they always kept either getting scared of me and leaving, which I didn't understand, or they would just slowly start like fading out, which I realize now I was probably eating them.
You were making them to eat them?
I didn't, not intentionally.
Subconsciously.
Like not
as a child, that would be upsetting, but like
it was.
Oh,
because like my best friends were just disappearing on me.
You were eating them.
Yeah, just making thought forms and just processing them back for later. Just
Spit
making
those
your own
out,
little batteries.
It's not nice. Spit out your friend. You don't eat them.
Their friends, not food.
But that's why. But with the whole like spirits being afraid of me kind of thing, not coming near, it lends credence, and yeah,
you can also look at like sociability as a child, and like, did you feel really good when you were given a lot of attention as a child?
Oh, of course.
All kids feel really good if they're given a lot of attention.
Well, no, like even if it was like attention on others near me.
You started seeing everything that's going on.
That's kind of one of the things I see in children that are like showing signs of maybe being a psychic vampire, that they're like me, and not just in like, I want to show you this really cool thing, like let's talk about dinosaurs for 5 hours, but in the like, I need to be in or around a center of attention, and if I'm not, there's like a negative effect upon me.
For me, it was around.
Yeah.
I didn't really care to be the center of attention, but abuse, that's its own thing. But I was kind of bad about if someone wanted to do something bad, I would be like, yeah, go for it.
So you can feed off of the consequences.
Yep.
I realize that now.
Ashley, I used to always hear like breathing in my ear when I was a kid. Weird. My baby doll literally floated above my head as a child. No joke. I woke up and literally saw it. Yikes. That's terrifying.
Hey, I mean, I had a sucker tossed in my head.
And okay, depends. Ashley, depends on what and on who. USRE?
Who you are.
Who you are.
Clarification, Ashley. I'm a little confused. But no, I've seen some kids and I've had clients and then some family members who, yeah, you're right, psychic vampirism, and it's me, you know, and they do like to feed off the chaos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of times I would like sit out on the edge of like a playground and just watch.
God, that's so mean. You got to get in there and help the kids. Jesus.
Well, I didn't know, and that's part of the issue and why us vamps have a negative connotation, is because of the unconscious ones. When I was a kid, I wasn't ethical. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Or what you hear for sorry, I'm talking to y'all. Well, I'm so confused. I was just
jumping in. Okay.
yeah, she was just jumping in. Very true. Very true. Okay. But yeah, no, that's interesting. Huh. The concept that kids can be psychic vampires right out of the womb. I
Well,
mean,
for some people, it's like just from that incarnation through. Other people, I don't want to, like, you can learn to do it, but some people it may not manifest until later. But like some kids, you definitely see it.
And it's also varying degrees too, because I realized that mine got worse once I started having health problems.
yes.
Yep.
So of course, because I have to use my energy to fix them.
I
and
was
I had
gonna
a friend who was like, I wasn't sure he was a psychic vamp at the time, and I wasn't sure about myself at the time.
talking.
And at that time, I was like, I thought it was cringe, but I knew that he was, and I was like, it's not cringe for him because he definitely is, because no matter who went near him, they would like quickly get drained, and he was always very just downtrodden, not sad, but just quiet and
Apathetic.
Well, the flip side of that,
apathetic. Yeah.
the flip side of that is maybe not a psychic vamp, but projecting his own emotions onto other people.
No, because when anyone would actually stay, he would start to get more energetic.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was like, he's definitely feeding off them.
Lethargy state, and then from starvation.
And so I realize now, because I've been in those states myself sometimes now, that I realize he was just starving all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Which also explains why he enjoyed having me as a friend, because I would go feed and not realizing it, and then go hang out with him and get, essentially he'd get it from me.
Okay, wow, a secondary feed. Jesus. He needed to go to a lot of raves. He would have been well fed.
I went to the raves.
Well, you needed to drag him along.
I did once, and he enjoyed it, but he was also had trouble with social anxiety.
Was he sick a lot?
Yeah, so he actually had an iron issue where he had almost no iron in his blood.
Ooh, turbo anemic.
Yeah. Literally, like, he had to take iron supplements, like a huge amounts every day.
You know, I always like to joke that kids suck the energy they have directly out of the parent's soul, but this is a whole new level.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley Rainwater, that DNA. What y'all picking up on me? Joking. Much love, much respect. Ashley, I'm not sure. Thor? Nico? You guys?
It's hard for me to do cold reads on people, but
Ashley, if you've got a question, throw it out there. Although I will tell you, Thor's probably going to have a better idea of what's going on with you simply due to his nature.
We'll see.
Interesting. I'm not allowed.
Ashley, haha. Well, feed LOL. I have social anxiety too.
What do
That explains that part.
I got to get a different chair, guys. This thing's creaking away. Either that or I got to use my can of WD-40 that I used on the garage door. Here, hold on. Also, she takes magnesium as well.
Yeah. Actually, I was just talking to my friend Harper earlier. She takes a lot of magnesium for issues too, and told me that I crave chocolate a lot because of the magnesium needs. But that's really normal for this time of the month.
I
Ooh,
was going to say,
interesting.
I've tried taking magnesium. It does not sit well with me.
Try the skin version, the cream. Some
Okay.
people don't absorb it well internally. Yeah.
Or do you crave chocolate ever?
Huh. When I do readings.
That's
It's
when you need
it's
to
also a
get
ground though.
Whenever I do readings, see, when I started doing readings, a few really bad things started happening. I started doing readings to help with the bills. Okay. It was after the kiddo came out, and we were pretty tight on money back then. But some things started happening. One, I got really big into chocolate. Before, you couldn't, I was a sweet tart person. Sweet tart, sour gummies, all that stuff. That's what I liked. Never got into chocolate. I've always been a big beef person, but when I do readings, holy God, it's like I could literally eat half a cow and pound down an entire
It's the
bar
magnesium and iron that you need.
of chocolate. And I've tried taking that in different ways. I've tried getting it different ways. I have a feeling with the chocolate, it's the caffeine and the sugar, because I always have to have the coffee. But the chocolate, the overwhelming beef, just red meat eating, but then also the migraines started. Never had them before. Didn't have any headaches before. I started doing readings. Boom, I got the family curse.
Try putting your Florida water on the back of your neck when you're done doing reading.
I have tried it. Even though the blend I make works, I didn't really do it. I don't know what's wrong.
One way to know if it's iron that you need.
What?
I
always need iron.
Well, yeah. At the time, though, think about oysters, and if they sound really good to you, you need iron. Because oysters are one of the foods that's really, really high in iron.
It's off and on, but oysters sound good to me. I love seafood.
I'm actually I just thought about the oysters my boyfriend brought me today, and I'm like, I kind of want to grab those.
I literally love seafood.
I was given permission for Ashley.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Hold on.
I'll let you know what card it was, but I cannot interpret it.
Ashley, you tell me.
Reverse
Ashley and depression, bipolar, add ADHD, PTSD. I eat chocolate. I feel it in my head, like chills in my head. Weird. Barley, eat it sometimes. Chocolate. Potato make me feel my blood. I have
sodium, maybe.
I am having a stroke trying to read her stuff. Okay, I can't do this shit.
So Alicia, this actually fits.
Okay.
Yeah, that I got for Alicia is reverse Page of Swords.
Oh, okay.
For Ashley, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that everything Ashley just said tracks for me too, because I got Dagas, Isa, and Yara. So you are in a cycle of happiness and fulfillment and stagnation and chaos, which is bipolar.
Just
and I was like, oh, I was really confused.
Circles, yeah.
Yeah, so you're stuck in an emotional circle.
Wow.
I asked what I needed to know about you, and it's like emotional circles.
Wow. Ashley Rainwater, y'all are okay. Aw, thanks, honey. You too. But yeah, no. When I first started doing the readings, it got so bad. I actually had. That's how I found out how good she was with energy work. She actually had to clear me off after one particular spirit guide reading because I was in so much pain up through here. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. Nothing. So she had to clear and clear and clear, and she had to go pretty deep in there to clean it all out.
Why you gotta be a sponge though? Well, you don't have to hold on to it. It's not yours.
It's not that I wanted to.
I was just thinking I wonder if any of my stuff I need to worry about missing something or needing something. And then I realized you mentioned sponge, holding on to it. I'm like, oh, I do that and I need to.
I was gonna say it's a little bit different.
Well, you're like a sponge somebody's trying to wring out. You want to hold on to the water, and everybody's trying to press it out of you.
Yeah.
Okay, Ashley, what that mean? Lol. Thank y'all. Okay.
So the runes pretty much told me that you were somebody who bounces between being very happy and like going through like emotional cycles.
Okay, yeah.
That's pretty much all they gave me, but I was surprised that they let me do that. I don't generally do a lot of cold readings. Typically, if I know somebody better, it's easier for me to do readings or
I
in
prefer
person.
to do the readings in person, but especially, and if the goddess, if she tells me no, tells me no.
And I'm using my nice runes. I have a couple sets. This is their moss agate. They're really sweet about things.
So
I have another set that I don't like reading for other people with because they are mean.
So actually, that my first tarot deck was given to me by someone that essentially hated me. Great energy transfer, right? That deck was very much a dick. Like, it was blunt, it was rude, and actually just actually today. It was today. Wow, feels like yesterday. Just today, finally got the both go ahead and like it is time to destroy the deck.
Fair.
Wow.
So it's like, all right, moving forward. I like it.
Okay. I like listening to y'all. Yep, on top. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Oh, well, cool, Ashley.
Well, I enjoy talking, so. Because the more I talk, the more other people talk, which means the more I get back.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
I'm a touch low on energy, if you can't tell.
Oh, yeah. By the way you were moving around and the pain you were in, I kind of figured.
It's been sapping me, yeah.
Yeah.
But what can I do?
Yeah.
I signed up for this, as you call it.
Definitely so. Hold on here. God bless you all. I love listening. Well, good, Ashley. Now, remember, we do this every Thursday at 8:30-ish p.m., Tech Gremlins permitting, and I always have different guests on, stuff like that.
And then it's also saved into the Spotify as a podcast, so you can listen to it if you want.
You can go back and watch previous ones.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You have to download the app if you want to watch the videos on Spotify. Other than that, you can just listen, but I will tell you, it is a lot better if you actually watch the videos as well because they go along with it.
Yep.
By the way, been doing more work on the shop website, and I finally have the podcast page mostly up and together. It's all linked in. All you got to do is click on either the pictures or the words, and it takes you right to the Spotify or the merch page.
Nice.
Well,
that's working out.
It's a lot of work. It's a huge learning curve.
I mean, you asked me to help it. I'm like,
you don't know it. Yeah, I know, right? I asked you if you knew anything about it, and you were like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Okay, never mind."
Yeah,
I sympathize with you on that. I learned how to do. I sympathize with you on that. I learned how to do coding for our Discord page to auto do rules. Oh my god!
See, that I'm good at. That kind of stuff I can.
I had
Discord and
managed
Twitch.
pages.
I'm good at setting up stuff.
I had managed pages as an admin before, but we had another guy that set everything up. So I was like, it can't be that hard.
Never.
And I mean, I taught myself how to do it, but it was a pain in my butt.
Hold on. Ashley, I ain't around people barely, so I like to stay here and listen. Awesome. I'm glad. Don't forget, I also have Tuesday night talks, and those are Tuesday nights around 8:30. Different interviews, different people, different subjects, just like maybe a 20 to 45-minute blast of info. And that's on the Des Moines New Age Radio Spotify channel.
I'm getting I don't think she's local.
No, probably not. Or at least I doubt it. She's from YouTube.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just getting the feeling of more Northeastern.
I'm just
you know me. I
that's one of the nice things about this, because I can actually reach people on everywhere. I can reach people in Nigeria. I reach people in the UK. I reached all these different places that I did not realize I was reaching.
Yeah,
You know,
when I came on, when there was a person, what was it, Norway?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I thought this was a local thing.
Well, and that's the thing. I didn't set it as particularly local, but I didn't think about it. But even before I was starting with StreamYard and Spotify and all this, when I was doing my dad's psychic medium stuff, we were reaching all the way to the UK. Dad's jaw hit the floor when he saw how many views and how far our reach was going. And, but it was funny because every time we would have success at that, somebody would run in and complain about his readings. Really bitchy complaints. And the thing is, at the time, I didn't advertise he was my dad. So you guys know your parents have failings, but you know what they say, you know the words they use, you know their particular cadence. And these people would start saying he said all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, I know my dad's crazy, and I know he says crazy shit all the time. My dad would never say that, and he would never use those words ever in his life. But I didn't say anything. I just sat back, and I let him go, and I let him go, and I let him go. And I'm just like...
Sometimes people just want to stir.
So it's I was off of it. Interesting.
What?
I was getting the feeling of more like Massachusetts or Kentucky area.
I will subscribe and follow. I mean, awesome. Well, thank you for the subscribe and follow.
So
remember to follow the Spotify.
You might be an hour. Is it
United States?
Behind us. So it would be like 9:30 then, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's 11:25 right now, and I'm probably going to have to hop off here
12
pretty soon.
Yeah, it'll be like 10. Because Mass is what? Boston's 2. So between 1 and 2.
I was feeling Massachusetts or Kentucky, but she said
she's
it's
in
South Carolina, which is a little more south than I was feeling. But I was closer than I expected. Because I would have been like so messed up. It would have been like all opposite side.
So bad, be awesome. Okay. But no, we reach pretty far, guys. But that's a great thing because we can answer people's questions.
And we get different viewpoints too.
Mm-hmm. And this is something people can come back to when they want their questions answered. Yep. This part of the reason why I started doing this is to make sure that no matter what, people had a way to get in touch with the professionals around me.
Yep. I mean, like, this has brought me closer to the shop than way before.
I know, right?
And like, I mean, I'm even to the point where I was like, even thinking about talking to you about like doing more than just the fair at the shop with you, like just doing just readings in general, like just.
And I was going to chit chat with you about that, but like I said, with some of your health stuff, I'm always worried because I know a lot of people with it, and I'm just not there to put pressure on people. You don't know me, Thor.
Yeah.
When I expect absolute dependability. Okay, that's the thing. Before I got into the whole, I grew up with spiritual stuff, but I didn't want to hear about it. I kind of went the other way for a while. It was always a base theory, but you just, as a kid, potatoes grow in your ears and you're done. You don't want to hear anything your parents have to say, no matter how much you love them. Well, when I got back into it, when I swung all the way back around to it, and I kept researching folklore and mythology and all this other stuff. But when I swung all the way back around to it, because I realized a shop like mine was needed. Something that was community-based. Yes, there's always going to be the retail aspect, everything like that, but help was needed. And I didn't feel that there were a lot of shops that did that. Well, when I opened up, I was like, oh dear, okay, how do I combine both these sides of my personality? You have the one that's, you are at work a half hour early and that is it, and I don't want to hear anything about it. And the other, and you work late. And that's how it is. Because in business, it's 24/7. Well, you know that, Thor. I mean, you ran it up, okay? It's 24/7. This is not a 9 to 5. I know one of my friend's boyfriends, he's like, well, why does she have such odd hours? Why is she always there? Why is she working so hard? She's in business for herself. She can make her own hours.
And that's how you crumble a business.
But you
Luckily,
have to
my
be
friend.
available to get the business.
Luckily, my friend was like, "Okay, honey, stop talking. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay, go back to your little 9-to-5 job. You're good. Just don't talk anymore. You know." And we both had a pretty good working understanding of no. And when you're in business, you're the janitor, you're the landscaper, you're the accountant. You are everything. You have to love working if you're going to be in business for yourself. But that's the mindset I bring, and that's the personality I have. Everybody's used to the nicer side of me. And so that's why, Thor, I was like, nah, health issues. I'm not even going to try this because I know who I am and I would feel really bad for you. Okay.
Yeah. And so it's partly because of my health issues, I can't do most jobs anymore. And the goddess is actually telling me to lean into this side of my life to make it a career.
It's a rough time to do it, but okay.
But it's apparently not all that I'm going to be doing.
Right. Okay.
Something's coming up and I don't know what.
Ashley says she's in South Carolina.
She likes to go to Massachusetts.
She'd like to go to Massachusetts road trip. And then Christina Maldonado. Hi, I'm new to this. Hi, Christina. And she is from New Mexico.
Nice.
So
just
awesome.
so you know, you don't have to reveal where you are. It's just
you don't have to, but if you want to.
Yeah.
That is totally awesome. So we're here. Well, I'm in Des Moines, Iowa. Nico?
Same.
I'm in Omaha.
And
I'm
Thor?
on the other side of the river.
Des Moines.
Okay. So yeah. No, but I will tell you, I love the fact now, part of the metaphysical community here in Iowa is just wackadoodle. Okay. They are crazy and power driven and all ego and just crappy.
But a lot of places, but still.
I have most experience here.
Yeah.
But I do hear from a lot of my traveling vendors and the people coming through that, it's like this everywhere. But I also know that with Iowa, there is a large portion of the metaphysical community and the spiritual community that are absolutely awesome and super duper grounded. So I tend to stay with the grounded side.
Right.
Which is shrinking. Anyway. So, okay. So Christina, I just joined. Awesome, Christina. And remember to follow us on Spotify because that's where all the old episodes are and everything like that. And then Christina, I'm new to paganism and very interested. Awesome.
Well, I
Antoinette
hope
Brown. Hello. Hi, Antoinette.
Oh,
and Ashley. Yep. Thor, you already know. Okay. There we go. So Christina, paganism. Okay, guys. Tell her a little bit about it.
Well, it depends on what, because paganism is a very broad category.
Paganism's everything.
Yeah.
Christina, I am almost out of here because I'm hungry, but two, I got to go get my kid. You know what? I'm going to come knocking at your door, Thor, and you're going to share out those oysters.
So my boyfriend brought these down from Washington, so they're like fresh package there.
That's really sweet.
So
but I would recommend hit your history books on witchcraft, hit your history books on mythologies, find what interests you and run with it, honestly. If you like crystals,
along the way,
jump in there. If you like baking, look at kitchen witchery. You know,
crystals.
find your joys and run with it.
Ashley says, let's do a road trip, y'all. Be fun. It would be fun. It would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to be able to visit my family, so introduce my boyfriend and all that, but life.
Oh, find it out on your own. No. That's part of the reason why we're here.
Rely on others, but don't over rely. Like, do what you can to research, but don't be afraid to ask. Everyone has a different experience, and sometimes that can temper yours.
And actually, I will also say, Christina, you can message me, and I can put you in touch with either Thor or Nico or both, if you like. And you can ask them.
I'm also available if anyone wants to do get readings done, especially when the shop is able to be open. Because I enjoy doing it, and I can always use the money.
Hold on just a
Through my
second.
tattoo
Especially
artist.
with no job right now.
I
I
love
found
that.
paganism through my tattoo artist, and she told me about it because she is a pagan. Actually, that's really cool.
I get that.
Yep.
No one can tell you something you gotta want to do. I believe that is true. But you can have guidance on it, I guess. Well, and also whenever you get guidance, remember to sort out the ones who are School of Enlightenment versus School of Power. School of Power is all about keeping somebody under their thumb. So there'll be a lot of, oh, you'll never be as good as me, or oh, you can't do that, or anybody who says those catchphrases, just be like, oh, well, that's nice, goodbye. And
There's
never talk.
also the concern about teachers and mentors teaching you how to do things so you become a useful battery to them.
Yeah, that's another thing. Be careful. I don't think you're there yet, but just be
I don't
mindful.
see it often, but
Use your
it
intuition.
happens. Yeah.
Intuition is a huge thing. That's one of the reasons why, as Alicia talked about before, with the book of all of us different practitioners, different view on something. That way you can look at it and be like, that sounds right to me.
And that's actually, I'm kind of getting that together now. The hubby, what?
Life, it's
Oh my.
everything at once.
But also look at open versus closed traditions. If you're interested in something in a closed tradition, start taking the steps you need to get into the closed tradition.
Christine,
and it's okay to
sorry about
research
my
them.
phone. Ashley, well, they're going to make decisions anyway. Really, they want it. They study. Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. If it's something you need to do,
you want something.
Yep.
Yeah, and it can catch you surprise. Because, I was agnostic for a long time, just wandering between different stuff, trying things out, just not feeling it from all of it. And then, I started getting responses from the goddess, and it just, was an instant, this feels right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. That was the interesting thing for me, too, is I've been practicing for 18 years. For the first 8 years, I did not work with any deities or anything. I worked through energy work, shamanism, animism, and my own power.
Interesting.
And then
See, I went the opposite route. I was very much deity first.
It was a weird awakening
for your nature.
Right.
Getting into deity work was really weird about the responsiveness from deities. And I'm sitting there I was raised Catholic, and it's you do your thing and then nothing.
Exactly.
And, that was just my personal experience, and other people had different experiences, but he just didn't answer me.
And then and it was
I leave an offering for
I
what
must
I'm
be doing something wrong, or it's not that. So I kept looking around, and then when I got a response, that's when it was okay, yeah.
And it just, they weren't the ones, or, the Christian God wasn't the one listening to me. It was the pagan gods, and I found the ones.
Oddly enough, actually, I do believe that even though they don't talk back, God is listening to everything.
Yeah.
They
I
just
the action
and do stuff.
They have a slower, more nebulous effect versus the deities having a faster one.
In this world.
Well, and I have an interesting relationship with Christianity too as a folk witch, because you can't take Christianity out of folk magic entirely.
Mm-hmm.
You can take it back to its pagan roots in some cases, but other times it is what it is. And
Christina, she never forced it on me, but I've always been interested in witchcraft, but never practiced it because of the whole devil worshipping thing, which I said BS. Christina, I want to start, but don't know how. I'm almost done with breast cancer treatment and want to start working with pagan gods. I would not say work with gods first. I would say do some other studies first.
Yeah.
Guys, what would you say?
So with the gods, it's like I said, I did gods first, but that it really depends on the person. Like me as a person, I focused on others before I focused on myself. And so because of that, I kind of had to go to the gods first. And then the goddess was literally like, okay, you're going to start working on yourself now.
I would
always
say
recommend-
work on yourself first.
Yeah.
If you can, and that's when things will really start to blossom. I mean, hell, I started my transition and literally found like the best relationship I've ever found after I stopped searching and focused.
Well, that's how it
Yeah.
always happens.
And it was like also like my life just brightened up and everything is just coming together.
Do your work, heal yourself, like work on your shadow work, then energy work.
Shadow work is
We do have a thing on shadow work. Look it up on the Spotify. Psychic Roundtable.
At least how I teach is I have a heavy basis on, working with somebody who's working on being like healed and accepting themselves for who they are entirely. And then start with energy work because in my practice, it's kind of the base of everything. Energy work, protections, and then
especially with us vamps, like you have to be careful of us that aren't awake.
and then start learning
Not
correspondences.
subscribed yet, but I will now. Well, thank you, Christina. And remember to follow me on the Spotify, both the Psychic Roundtable and Des Moines New Age Radio, because that's going to give you a lot more information too. That's part of the reason I do this. Let's see. Ashley. Okay. Ashley, you gotta have all that stuff. Just pray. Well, I don't know, because you're born with it or you ain't. And see, I don't think that either. I believe that it's like a muscle. All psychic gifts, everything is like a muscle. The more you work it, the more it's gonna grow.
Page of Swords.
What?
And I mean, some people are more sensitive off the get-go. Other people have to learn how to do it. And some people, like, there's some people that, you can say, maybe they're... I hate saying that people are, like, born witches or born psychics, because everybody has the ability to do it.
Yeah, everyone has gifts.
Some people just inherently do it subconsciously and then have to figure out what it is.
Or something happens that makes them have to use it and they don't realize
Well,
it.
and that's the other thing. People with the psychic ability, they can be born with it switched on or middle or lower.
Yeah,
and
then you have to flip the switchings. Yeah. Whereas for me, like, my parents never... as a kid where, like, you have that disillusion and they're like, no, the monsters in your room aren't real and things like that. My parents never did that.
Yeah.
So I never had that moment of what you're perceiving doesn't exist. Or, like, I never got that, like, psychic shutdown from my parents.
That's good. Yes.
And so my parents just... I had seen things that, like, I would tell them about that they just couldn't dismiss. And I think that might have been part of it, where they're just like, we don't know what to do about this, but we don't think you're lying about it either.
Think you're lying about it. Oh my God.
Okay, so I just did a quick reading for it. This what you're looking to do, it is a good path. Like it's a new... dang it, what was the term I just used? Let me pull that back up.
Okay.
A change of perspective, rebirth. So it's like it's going to be a nice, new, fresh thing for you, but it is easy to be gullible when you're fresh at things. So just be cautious of what is told to you, and try to, like, feel it out. Don't take everything at face value.
You have Gabo, Wunzhao, and Tiwa, so you have an unexpected gift, joy, and success.
I pulled judgment and 6 coins reversed, so yeah.
Branhard, all depends on how sincere you are. You can work with God. His hand will lead
I
you.
love how we keep getting the same reading.
Oh.
Yeah.
Christina, I always thought I could feed off other people's energy. Like if you have bad energy, then I get sick. That's interesting.
And see that, so if you are a sort of vamp, not all vamps are like me, where being a filter. Actually, it turns out it's kind of actually somewhat rare. Like, not like super rare, but like maybe 3 in 10.
Interesting. Oop.
Oh,
Go ahead and keep talking, guys. I'm trying to find the link for the Psychic Roundtable, and my thing is being a butt. Tech gremlins again. Or it could be storm damage. I don't know. Tornadoes definitely qualify as storm damage. Okay.
Is
I was
that
what is that about?
Ashley,
Is
I was
that a
alone child, black sheep. Hold on. Sherry Berry, Liberty, Keys, and Souls. Now surrender, retreat. That's weird.
I was sitting there like, I don't know if troll or are you trying to deliver us from spirits?
No clue.
Because, like, it don't make no sense.
I'm having a stroke just trying to read some of these comments. Okay, guys. I don't even know what the hell's going on. Sherry Berry. Hose. Wait a minute. Hose. Oh, hey.
No.
She's calling us
no.
hose.
Thirsty. Thirsty. I hope you have the day you deserve.
Oh,
So evil.
That wasn't the worst one that could have come out
that's
of my
not evil.
mouth.
That's just giving back.
August 16th. Why am I getting that in my head? I don't know. That's from Ashley. Christina is wow. Because I remember this man I was around and just couldn't be around him without being physically sick. Interesting. Weird. See things like that happen to me. Sherry Berry. It meant placebos. Guys,
I don't.
It sounds like gibberish to me.
Fucking clue.
But my reading for Christina, I was curious because like you were describing something, and I was like, well, let's see. Are you a vamp like me? No, but it's delay because I pulled the tower reverse, so delaying disaster. And I asked if it's maybe something more intense, and yes, passion and a hot temper. So like maybe a high empath, because that would make sense if you like someone toxic is around you, you start feeling it.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Always worries me when I pull the tower, especially first.
Yeah, I get that.
Especially since it's apparently my card.
No, I always get worried when it's the Ten of Swords.
Really?
It's like, please no.
Is that a trap? No, that's Nine of Swords.
That's the like conflict card. It means I'm.
Oh yeah, betrayal. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in for a fun trip.
Which is the one I'm thinking of?
All right, here we go.
I was thinking of Eight of Swords, the one where you're trapped.
Table, Spotify, link. Boom. There we go. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, Sherry Berry. Soul contract Confi Clay Bay is not where it's supposed to be. So be stoic, spiritual, physical somewhere. Oh,
this sounds like AI.
I don't.
All right, y'all. Nico, I think I'm going to put the brakes on this because
it's derailing.
Godzilla is having a stroke reading this. Okay.
Yeah.
But so Nico, this Tuesday coming up, you still good for Hex and curse breaking on Tuesday night talks? Yes or no?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, curious. See, I'm still curious if I can eat one.
Can you eat one off of somebody else?
Don't know. I'm curious to try.
Because they can be really sticky. Yeah, they can be really sticky, so that might be... It also depends on what kind, too. Like, I could see you probably being able to eat hexes, but it depends on the kind of curse, too.
Christina, I haven't felt that kind of energy since I was around that man. I haven't felt anything negative since that man. Interesting.
And it could have been that person.
Yeah, it might have been, honestly. There are some people I can't be around without getting seriously ill. Ashley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Means stay away, dude, if you feel that. Yes. Ashley,
Yeah.
high five. That's correct. Yeah.
That's the big red flag running across the screen.
Yeah, I know.
That guy
Right?
is so great.
All right, y'all. Love you all. We'll get together on doing an empath show and a psychic vamp show. I'm going to line up some people for that. I would rather do roundtables on both, but I also want to do a Tuesday night talk on each one of those separately, simply so I can have one guest and focus on it.
Yeah. Cool call.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. Here we go. Sherry Berry. Okay, watchers, y'all security breaches. You can't feel that, healers. Yes. Okay, I'm done.
It really feels like either mistranslation going on or like AI scam bot.
Or
Yeah.
somebody who's been up way too long.
I don't know.
Could
But
be
I'm
like sleep
getting
mode.
a headache. So, well, my headache's getting worse reading that. All right. Loves to y'all. Mwah. I'll message you both later. And
Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Have a good night. Stay blessed, less stressed.
yes.
Avoid gibberish.
Thanks, Nico. I really appreciate you coming on. And hey, a lot of positive wishes for what's going on with you and
Thank
yours.
you.
Absolutely. All right. Good night. Okay. And Thor, thank you as always for coming on. I appreciate it. And have a good night. And I'll be talking to you about some other stuff soon.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, y'all. Mwah. Loves to you all. If there's anything you would like us to cover, any topics, anything like that, please let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe. And remember to follow me on Spotify because that's where all this is going to be. It's been pretty reliable. Facebook and YouTube can be kind of glitchy. But, anyways, love to y'all. Mwah. And outro.